All right, I think we're ready. Alrighty, guys, welcome over to the CEAL stream where we're going to resume this series. Bronze 5H dropped game 1 to Insignia, or I should rather say Insignia took game 1, in which was quite a one-sided game. So hopefully Bronze 5H can bounce back in game 2. They're going to be on blue side again as the draft opens up with Bronze 5H's first ban, which is going to be the Vayne, taken away from Caitlin Stark here. And we saw the exact same thing in the first round as they banned Vayne there as well. So Insignia, of course, reminder to you guys, are going to be losing their first 3 bans due to the substitution of Lone Sparrows in the middle of the season. So if you don't see any bans on their side, it's not a glitch. It's because they don't have anything until their last 2 bans between the 2 phases. So
New coming in from Bronze 5H as well. Was that a carryover for the first game?
It was. So that's Lightning's by far his most played champion, at least in solo queue, and has played it quite a bunch during the regular season. So no surprises there. And looks like Bronze 5H, they banned the Xerath as their 3rd ban last time. So we'll see if that carries over.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to be seeing something that isn't Pike. So
yeah.
Unless they have something cooked up for it, that's always a possibility. That was a game that I think you could chalk up to. It just got away from them, right? Sometimes it's not right to just ban what stomped you if you have an answer to it, or sometimes people have a pick prepared or whatever. But I think, especially in a longer series like this, one of the things you can do is stick to your guns. That we are going to see the Pike ban.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Insignia are gonna forfeit their last ban here, and then we will hop over to Bronze 5H for the first pick.
I liked both comps last time, but I want to see more priority in lanes for Bronze 5H this time around.
Yeah.
Like I think in the last game they had 2 lanes that definitely were going to be shoved, and then the Rumble Cho'Gath is kind of a wash.
Yeah.
So I think I want to see them pick something that can either at least get a shove down, maybe like Sivir or Caitlyn in their bot lane. I think the Ezreal is a really powerful pick. It's very, very strong. But I also think that if you're just going to get bullied around and shoved around, the way Insignia played around their priority in the last game was excellent. I don't think you want to play that game again if you can help it.
Yeah.
So
Scatter's played the Caitlyn. He's also played the Sivir and the Ashe himself as well. So see if they choose one of those 80 carries. And the first pick, Nico from Bronze 5H, exactly the same as last draft. So keep in mind they could flex this to top. Don't know if Cephas has anywhere near as many games as Shadow does. But I know Onino Ken, when he was the 80 carry, he did play some Nico. I remember when Bronze 5H could flex this to 3 roles, but likely just to be Shadow's pick. He's by far the best on there. And the Volibear hover for Insignia here. That's likely going to Lightning if it is locked in.
Volibear interesting right now because you're seeing Volibear support actually played in professional play at the moment. So don't rule that out. I'm not sure if it's in Lone Sparrow's pool or not.
It hasn't
just
been
something to consider.
Yep.
Can also be played top lane. So
yeah.
Let's see what Insignia do for their second pick here. If they're going to try to get a priority carry. Lucian is an interesting one. Blind. It would not surprise me if that's the bottom lane we just saw.
Yeah. Actually, the
kind of an interesting look. I'm not entirely not entirely sure if the Volibear supports in Sparrow's pool, but it is a pick. It's something it's kind of on the fringe of playable. It's like one of those champs it's like 2 or 3 champions that are like right on the fringe of being played, but it has been seeing some play, so don't rule that out. Cannon. Okay.
Yeah, if this gets locked in, this is very likely going to Cephas. He did play this 3 times during the regular season in their 10 games, and I think it's his 2nd most played champion in solo queue, so I don't see any other Bronze 5H member with Kennen in their pools. Very likely to go top lane, which means the Nico would either be mid or ADC, and most likely mid. So a couple of solo laners picked early from Bronze 5H, kind of interesting.
Yeah, you don't see too much of that anymore unless it's like the safe blinds like Karma or something like that, but and you got a Trundle for the 3rd pick. So kind of interesting. I'm not entirely versed up on everyone's pools here, but the Trundle's an interesting pick here. Maybe comfort for Alston.
Yeah,
I thought he looked fine on the Sejuani last game. Kind of interesting. And I think Sejuani's a really strong pick right now, especially when you have a Nico and a Kennen. Good setup for your AoE Wombo there, but
I know
They must be thinking something else.
I know Bronze 5Age have used the Trundle in the past to counter pick tank junglers, which you see this in all the time in the LCS. But we got to talk about Mordekaiser here. That is locked in for Insignia.
There he is.
Yeah, so this could go either top or mid, and now the reason I say mid, not because that's most played in mid versus top, but because Diving has actually played, I think he actually played a game of Mordekaiser in week 5 against Noctua. Took that in the top lane, of course, since he is normally their top laner. Now that he's in mid, we could see that in the mid lane versus the Nico, but then again, Aileron Roll actually has also played the Mordekaiser too, now that I'm looking at it. So, interesting.
Okay, so the 4th ban for Insignia is Caitlyn. So.
Okay.
So interesting here. I actually like the idea of banning. They're banning Caitlyn, trying not to get the Lucian bullied out or shoved out, which I think is smart. Maybe they'll take like Sivir out here.
Yeah, I know Scatter's played that too.
Yeah, the Mordekaiser in this situation is kind of interesting. I think this was just Insignia saying, okay, this champ's really, really strong, because I don't think he's particularly great into either of those solo lane matchups.
No, and both of them have innate safety to escape the Mordekaiser CC.
Okay, so looking like Insignia with a really, really strong understanding, I think, of where their strong lanes are going to be, or like just priority. Like I talk about it all the time. It's very, very good understanding by them here, knowing that one of the only ways Lucian can lose lane is if it's someone that can just shove and not get bullied. So taking out the Caitlyn and the Sivir are very, very smart on their end. And Bronze 5Age going to be able to get the Xerath ban that they wanted anyway. They do it in the 2nd rotation this time.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of a specialty for Diving, right?
Actually, it's Lone Sparrow's support.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So Lone Sparrow's, his Pike, his Thresh, and his Xerath are like really good. And then he plays Blitz and Alistar after that a little bit.
Straight up lane bully. I love it. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So we could see the Thresh actually here locked first, but...
Is the Lucian mid? Okay.
Interesting.
Insignia getting spicy in game 2.
Okay.
So maybe a Lucian mid here. I want to point this out too, because you can't rule out Mordekaiser jungle either. I don't think it's as strong as solo lanes, but that could be something that's happening here.
Yeah, and you can't afford to go the Lucian mid with having the Mordekaiser be your other solo laner and AP as well. So
yeah,
Alistar locked in here for Psychopez, very comfort, stable pick for him. So he's gonna be back on that.
It's gonna have a really good setup for Nico and Kennen too. The knock-up is very, very potent. So
interesting. So Bronze 5H likely to have their ADC left here.
Don't do Ezreal again.
Yeah,
Don't do Ezreal again. I want to see Ashe. I want to see Varus. Okay, I like the Varus pick. Okay, I like that. I wanted to see something more proactive from Bronze 5Age. I do think, as good as Ezreal is, you need to make sure that you don't have 3 losing lanes or 3 lanes that are going to get shoved. Otherwise, you just get bullied around the map like they did in the last game. So, I like this. I like this setup from Bronze 5Age quite a bit. A little more execution based than their last comp, and we're gonna have a Vel'Koz lock for the last pick.
Yeah.
So this looks like Vel'Koz support, Lucian mid, more top Volibear jungle to me.
Yeah.
But it could be. I mean, it could be anything still.
Yeah.
You could do Lucian top here. Maybe Diving and Aileron Roll are discussing the matchups where they think one might have an advantage versus the other. So
yeah, interesting. I don't think Aileron Roll is a Lucian player at all. I have to think them. I mean, I don't know. He may play Volibear as well. I guess that's the other flex we could see.
He doesn't strike me as the Lucian top player.
No. So
nothing wrong with that, but
I think either way we see Lucian mid, Vel'Koz support. I think it's just a matter of where the Mordekaiser and the Volibear switch between top and jungle. But
yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Volibear jungle. Yeah. So I do think there's a distinct lack of engage on the side of Insignia here. With the Trundle Pillar and Alistar Headbutt and Varus Ultimate, it's going to be pretty challenging. Even the Nico E as well, is going to be challenging for them to get a clean engage off here, and they don't really have a whole lot of CC otherwise. So
yeah.
Sorry.
What's interesting is Lone Sparrow's the type of supports that he normally plays with the Pike, the Thresh, and the Blitz. He's on something very different in the Vel'Koz, in which you're not the point man for your team, like you would normally be with some of those other supports. I mean, you saw him running around basically starting every play and making every catch for his team, but he's going to be on kind of a different role this game, and it's going to be up to the rest of his team, like Lightning on the Volibear, to initiate those plays. And you're right, with the lack of engage, they don't really... As opposed to game one, they can't really pick and choose any fight that they want to. They have to play around their vision and maybe even wait for Bronze 5 Age to make a mistake on their fights. It's just kind of interesting with their team comp and how much it differs from game one, because they don't really have all the tools to do what they want to do that they did in game one. But talk a little about Bronze 5 Age's comp. Seems more stable. They do have reliable sources of engage with the Kennen and the Varus. I guess Kennen may not be quite as reliable, but...
Yeah, I think the Lucian's kind of an interesting matchup breaker here, because Lucian's really interesting because he can run away with a matchup and become the bully, but it gets to a certain point where he can just get shoved out, just like a lot of these kind of like lane bully characters in the mid lane. So I think a lot of it's going to depend on navigation. Like if Shadows can, the first couple levels are going to be extremely challenging for the Nico in this matchup. So. But I think once he gets to a certain point, we've seen this with the Lucian counterpick in mid in all sorts of different matchups, where if the other character is a shoving character and they can get to the point where they're able to just shove, it kind of neutralizes the effectiveness of it. So while it looks like Bronze 5 Age should have, on paper, Bronze 5 Age should have 3 winning lanes. There are 3 lanes that should, they should be able to have priority in the 3 lanes. The top lane could be the skill matchup, but it's not going to be right away. But once we get to like level 4, 5, 6, 7 range, after the first few levels, it should be in the advantage of Bronze 5 Age. So it's going to be a lot easier this time around for Alston Restip. He's not going to have people in his jungle all day long. So
yeah, we haven't got.
Also worth noting. From blue side, it's a lot easier to repel invades as well. Like it's a lot more risky for red side to step in for an invade blue side. So.
Yeah, we did see level 1 shenanigans happen. Both teams actually ran it down bot and met in the tri-brush. A lot of summoners were exchanged, so not quite the level 1 power or anywhere near the level 1 power that Insignia had last time. Bronze 5 Age do still have Alistar Pulverize, and maybe if Nico scales those Tangle Barbs, maybe able to get some CC down. But I don't think these teams will invade this time. I think we're likely to see a fan or maybe even a stack from Insignia if they suspect Bronze 5 Age can invade. But we we're just heading into the client pick ban, so we still have a few minutes after the spectator delay to talk about these teams a little bit more. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the finals for the DEMACIAN League between Bronze 5 Age, the number 1 seed, and Insignia, the number 2 seed. Insignia did take game 1. It is 1-0 in their favor, but in a best out of 5. We can see this series hinge on some smart drafting and execution of their composition. So, lane specifically, I don't know if you've ever played Nico and Lucian. I certainly haven't. I guess we did talk about that quite a bit. Kennen Mordekaiser. I'm curious as to how that goes. I feel like Mordekaiser's not going to be able to reach the Kennen with those early spells. Mordekaiser's pretty brutal into melee matchups early on, but I think the Kennen does have the advantage in the early game. So, curious to see how this top lane goes.
Yeah, it should be in the advantage of Cephas. That said, any Kennen lane is heavily execution based. Like, it's easy to say the Kennen should bully this guy around, but sometimes you get pulled in by Mordekaiser and all of a sudden it's not the case. But Kennen should have an easy time. Even if he gets grabbed in, he's able to lightning surge away. So let me see. Yeah, I'm afraid for Insignia's ability to engage in this game. Like, it's too easy to say they have Volibear and Volibear's an engage, and he is, but anytime he doesn't have flash up, he's gonna have a really tough time against this team comp.
Yeah. And we saw Bronze 5 Age, despite being down a lot, were able to actually regroup and try and make some plays, whether it be in the side lane or initiations around the Baron play. They actually had their wits about them and were proactive in trying to make plays happen with the team comp that they did. Now, of course, execution just wasn't there because each member was down 3,000-4,000 gold and at least a full item. But With this game, we're never going to doubt Bronze 5H's ability to execute a team comp with an engage when it comes to the team fight phase. Now it's about their ability to survive in lanes and get to that point where Scatter's got 2-3 items on the Varus, and Shadow's got his utility build complete, and we see Kennen flank, and all of a sudden Bronze 5H could take a game back off of Insignia. So
yeah, I think this is a pretty strong draft advantage for Bronze 5H. The only caveat to that, I think, would be they have the Jinx Vel'Koz, which is a lot of damage, and again, another easy way to get resets. So, not exactly. I mean, they have 2 tanks on the side of Bronze 5H, but pretty easy for Jinx to get resets here. But I like Bronze 5's comp a lot more in this game.
Yeah. If Mordekaiser ults Kennen, does his AoE go away and doesn't hit any members of the team as he's whisked off to the Shadow Realm?
That interaction I'm not entirely sure about.
Yeah. So I feel like you could just ulting Kennen and
yeah, I wonder if
have your team take any damage. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a lot of interactions with
Yeah.
that I'm just like still figuring out as it goes. Same with like Silas stealing ultimates and trying to figure out like what he actually takes from characters and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. This one's gonna be interesting. I think there's an argument to be made for Insignia having like a good, like really early game situation where I'm talking like the first 5, 6, 7 minutes of this game they could bully this around, but after that into the mid game it's going to become really challenging for them. They're going to have to outplay, I think. So
yeah,
going to be interesting here. So I don't know, comp wise, who do you like for this?
I do like Bronze 5H, and I think their mid-game decisiveness, I think they picked the right lanes to get to the point where they can do what they want with their team. I like Scatter's ability to put output damage on the Varus maybe a little bit more. I don't think he's, I'm maybe a little bit worried for his immobility, but I think Psychopez is going to be much more comfortable on this Alistar than he was in the Morgana. Again, we hadn't seen him play any Morgana games all season long. But both these guys are on comfort picks. I don't imagine the bot lane will get away from them anywhere near as much as it did in game 1. And with Shadow on a comfort pick like the Nico, we saw him get off great pop blossoms in the fight, landing on 3-4 members. Just they were so far behind it, the damage didn't matter and the follow-up wasn't there. So, and we talked about how Nico and Kennen can play off of each other's ultimates. If one's able to land a good stun, the other can follow up and hit everybody with it. So, and we know Bronze 5H is the kind of team that can make those team fights happen on even ground. So, I am going to give their composition a bit of an advantage. That being said, of course, you could see Volibear mid around level 2 or 3 get a flash flip, and all of a sudden Lucian with Ignite can draw first blood. And I do want to point out the fact that both Lucian and Nico have Ignites, and same with Psychopez and Lone Sparrows. So both the mids and the supports for both teams have Ignites. So maybe these guys are wanting to be aggressive in lane and get some early kills.
Yeah, I think it's going to just be a bloody game, I think. Because I think for the side of Insignia, this game has to be bloody. Like, otherwise it's just not going to work out. You mentioned it before. I think the only concern, really, for Bronze 5H is Varus's immobility against the Mordekaiser ultimate and Volibear just running at him. But I think Alistar, as long as Psychopez is doing a good job, Psychopez is going to be playing bodyguard in this game, I think.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about Alistar is that he can do both. Yeah. There's not a lot of sports that can do that. So Headbutt, really good against the Volibear. He's going to be able to keep Mordekaiser out of range. Scattercat has his own ultimate.
Yeah.
So I think all Bronze 5As need to do in this game is set up and just wait. Like, wait for an engage to come in, because if they just get to play the counter engage game, they're extremely good at that. Nico and Kennen are exceptional at that. So let's make sure that I just got to make sure that they're staying patient. So should be a good situation here. I'm guessing Insignia are going to invade this game.
Yep. Right.
I think early on, I think they're going to start. They're just going to open with an invade. Because I think with this team, they're going to have to get ahead or just outplay pretty badly to get into a good spot.
Alrighty, guys, we're loading onto the Rift here for game number 2. Again, Bronze 5H lost game 1 to Insignia. We're now up 1-0 in this series. It is a best of 5, so we'll be hopping in the game, and pings are going down furiously around mid lane for Insignia. So I think you're right. Looks like they're stacking around mid lane, but so are Bronze 5 Age.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think the level 1 is actually the level 1's almost definitely in the advantage of the Vel'Koz and Jinx. As good as Nico is, you just got to be real careful against Vel'Koz. I've played a lot of games with and against Vel'Koz support, and it's super dangerous, really. Okay.
Looks like both
Countered invades here.
Yeah, the opponent's red
Ships
side.
passing in the night. This is a really common thing these days to see the red side for a ward, like invade for a ward, but not stay for the actual full-on fight.
Yeah.
It kind of just informs the junglers. Like there's certain things that just have to happen. Like it lowers the decision tree a lot when you just get vision and confirm where the other jungler starts, rather than just assuming. Yeah. But if you get red side vision, you can kind of there's a lot of things that you can now assume that you can't without actually knowing. So
yeah,
going to be interesting to see if Lightning actually does go back and start his own red, or stays and does this one.
Yeah, Insignia keeping 4 players down here, and Smarter Bronze 5 Age, they're just going to walk around it and start their blue, but
kind of would like to see Psychopez pop a ward over, maybe.
Yeah,
but
I don't think Bronze 5 Age have any way of knowing that they're going to be taking this red. I mean, the approach...
We'll see if they see where they come from.
Yeah.
Bottom lane, maybe they can assume. Let's see here. Oh, I'm not going to wrap around gank
Yeah,
here.
the Volibear is sticking around.
Dangerous.
I wonder who they're going to pick to go for. I think it probably will be Psychopez, and he still has his flash up, but...
This is really...
Just going to flash up. Volibear not quite able to get in range of the flip, but is going to land. He is level 2, and that's going to be first blood to the Volibear. So,
all right. So there was two angles to that. I think one. Oh my goodness, Scattercat.
Barely gets out.
I think overcompensating a little bit there. Oof. Well, this is an easier lane to gank now all of a sudden.
Yeah.
For the Volibear. There were a couple things that worked there. I think one, first of all, unless you know that bot lane is coming from there, you got to understand that's like that's a very common cheese play from a red side invade. So you need to be aware, like just hold back for a couple minutes. Like you don't need to give up those minions, just hold back to confirm that the jungler is not chilling there.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit of a lack of patience there. But I do think it was actually really smart of them to split up when the actual fight started happening, so that it was only going to be one. But then Scattercat went back in and had them pop their flash anyway, so kind of threw away that good decision a little bit. It's going to be a hard time here.
It is.
No telp AD. Scattercat's really chunked out with no flash. You just can't back this early. You can't miss this early XP.
And and this is exactly the spot Vel'Koz wants to be in, where his team is trying, or his opponent is trying to desperately farm under tower, and you can just hit back there and poke with the Qs. Again, the Vel'Koz Q very low mana cost, especially if you secure a minion. Now, of course, that's less relevant when you're playing support, but doesn't there's not a lot of downsides to consistently poking with that Q ability and trying to continue to take more health off that ADC.
Yeah, it's going to be. We're focusing a lot on the bot lane right now because with both summoners down, this is going to be a really scary point for Bronze 5 Age. If they're not able to get through this without their flashes getting up, it's going to be really problematic for them. So, looking like Austin Restip is thinking the same thing and wants to give them some backup here. So, not sure. Oh, nice poke landed there by Scattercat.
Yeah.
Mord getting the shot. No, it looks like Cephas has the wave in a really good spot. Actually, he's going to be able to stack this up. Lightning looking top. Let me see. Okay, I think we're good. Just focusing on bottom again.
But here comes Trundle in the bottom lane. Let's see where the pillar is. Lone Sparrows does have access to his flash, so likely we'll just use it here. Flame Chomper's not going to land on the backside, but good flash burn. And the Vel'Koz will likely be a follow-up gank and a target in the future for Austin Reston.
Yeah, Austin doing a good job relieving pressure here. His bot lane really needed it, and that's going to be a good thing. He's going to be able to revisit this pretty easily.
Yeah.
But he did spend a lot of time there, so he's getting a little bit behind the Volibear and farm here. He's going to lose his Scuttle Crab topside and probably his Gromp, I would guess. I guess he's not going to go with that. Okay, so is getting a little bit behind. Let's see.
Lightning's walking up to the top lane. Not sure if Cephas has that Lightning Rush up. As looks like he'll back out. Nothing doing there. Shadow, actually, I've been noticing he's playing this mid lane very well. Every time diving goes in with the dash, he's right there with the Tangle Barbs, and we see him clone out of the damage, diving one more auto to proc the, whatever that thing is called. The
double tap.
Yeah, the rune.
So Good on Shadow there, using his shapeshifting, or what's it called? I think it's called shapeshifter.
Yeah, shapeshifter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think using the shapeshifter to get the speed bonus you get from it, just to get out of range, to not need too many autos. He was out of mana there, so potentially a risky situation. So I'm gonna see. I'm curious to see if Alston's gonna revisit bottom or just use that as a relief of pressure.
Yeah, and even if you just take it as that, a relief of pressure, I think it did do its job. Scatter was down, I think, 15 to like 2 in CS when they had it under the turret, was getting poked out very heavily. Didn't back and is still here with 3/4 HP and mana, and has cut the CS deficit down to 5 or 6. So
I think all things considered, this is an excellent situation, excellent recovery by the bottom lane for Bronze 5 Age. Lightning still has some time to get down here before flashes come back up. It looks like he's maybe thinking about it. He's got a tempo advantage here on Alston. He might want to consider firing and getting to the bottom lane, but his bot lane's gonna recall, so maybe not a good window with nothing on the bottom side for him to take.
We see Aileron Roll consistently getting good trades into Cephas in the top lane. Like you were talking about, he lands a couple of those grabs, and suddenly it's the Kennen who's forced to CS under his turret while Aileron Roll gets a free back there. So playing very well on this Mordekaiser, and good to see him experienced in a champion that's as strong as he is.
It's kind of we have a lot going on in this game where we say the Kennen should have advantage and the Nico should have advantage, but the Lucian and the Mordekaiser do have enough skill expression and ways to outplay these lanes that it's not necessarily a guaranteed thing. Like, it's not a hard counter pick, right? So we see the mid lane's kind of just going even, which I think it's definitely an advantage of Shadow in this situation. Oh, nice root there. Okay, good. Not a whole lot going on. Lightning's thinking about a mid gank, maybe.
Yeah, he did just visit bottom and actually burn Psycho-Pez's flash there as mid lane goes into the trade again. But yeah, you see that interaction where Psycho-Pez will go to headbutt the Volibear away as he's in his Thunder Roar or rumbling something. Rolling Thunder, yeah. But the Volibear will actually be able to flip the Alistar while he's in the middle of casting his headbutt. So if Psycho-Pez is trying to headbutt him away, he'll end up getting flipped as well. So kind of an interesting interaction. But
I wonder if you can actually pop. I'm thinking for later in the game. I wonder if you can actually like pop. Oh, we got a trade going in the mid lane. Oh, and Diving's gonna get the solo kill. Gets like a big chunk of that calling damage onto Shadow, and Shadow holding onto his flash maybe a little bit too long there.
Yeah, Diving doesn't even have to use his flash to ignite, so just a nice little solo kill, and I think Shadow was definitely caught off guard by the consistent damage from that calling.
So Shadow's gonna lose a wave here. Still has his flash. Diving didn't use his flash to ignite. Neither of them used their summoners, so he's going to lose a wave here. But again, that's not the end of the world. You kind of expect this to happen earlier on, but Shadow's going to be able to get back and probably shove these waves pretty easily now. So, oh, got an engagement in the bottom lane.
Yeah, combo, but Lone Sparrows is actually level 6, so let's see how he's able to turn this. Is just going to throw the ult down. And there it goes, Lightform Disintegration Rain. Scattercat has gone, Psycho-Pez almost reaches as well. The rocket comes in at the very end. Caitlyn Stark snipes him on the very back end of that fight. And 2 kills going over to Insignia's bot lane, and we're looking like we may see another carry performance.
This is certainly one way to overcome comp disadvantage. They're gonna get all 5 platings. Oh my gosh, that's brutal. Well, Insignia rolling another snowball up here, and Nunu's not even in the game, so...
Yeah, yeah, right? Yeah, Trundle just a little bit late to the play, was farming his topside jungle at the time, so Insignia picked a great time to go, and they're going to get that first turn and now open things up to nearly a 4,000 gold lead just 9 minutes in.
Yeah, really important to mention that was first turret, with the plating still up, so that's a lot of money going over. That's not just any old first turret, so a lot of money going over to the side of Insignia. Worth mentioning just real quick, I figured we would see this, but Cephas is going with the AD Kennen, so he's going to be looking to... it could still be Gunblade, but it's going to be interesting to see if he might want to decide to commit to a split push now. That is a decision that you can make. I doubt we'll see it. I think he's just going to be... He's just going to be Gunblade into AP, so...
Yeah. A couple of things to keep in mind for the next 4 minutes here. So Bronze 5 Age were able to secure the Dragon, which is great. It's a cloud for them. But with Insignia getting that first turret bot, they're now able to rotate their bottom lane to the top half of the map, giving them numbers advantage for this Rift Herald. and maybe looking to take another full turret worth of plates here. So Insignia setting themselves up for what could be a pretty huge influx of gold if we're able to execute this Herald, and maybe even threaten all 3 turrets before plating comes off. But Alston rest up in Shadow. We're going to check, but they're outnumbered 3-2 here. Let's see who Insignia decides to focus. It looks like it's going to be the Trundle, and he's just going to get removed. Oh, big Pop Blossom lands on a 2. The Trundle finally goes down, and Shadow's going to fall in the end. Lightning Rush coming in from Cephas. The Slicing Maelstrom, not able to do the damage he wants to, is now in trouble himself. Diving coming in. The Rocket again, cleaning him up. Caitlin Stark, number 2 for 2 on the map. And now TP out of there. And
Bronze 5H Bronze 5H, you need to take this. Oh, he's already back.
Yeah.
This is a situation. This is the 2nd game in a row now where we've seen the bottom lane not catch the rotation.
Yeah.
And now in the last game, it didn't, like, it wasn't because the tower fell immediately. This game, the tower fell immediately. You need to understand that the other team's not just going to go back to bot lane. They're going to go to mid or top. So you need to back and head to that side of the map to stop, like, basically a catastrophic ending. It's the flash happened.
Yeah.
Nice play by Psycho there,
but Insignia are going to get their cake and eat it too here with that fight. Now they have the Rift Herald crashing into the top lane turret, and still with 2 minutes and 30 seconds worth of play timers up, they already have 2 full turrets. But here comes the fight. Caitlin Stark may have overstayed, and Psychopez with the engage behind the pillar from Alston Restip. They're able to pick up a nice shutdown on the Cephas. Very important one.
Good play. They're gonna be able to get the Vel'Koz here too, maybe. Never mind. Nice Q. Nice knock-up landed there by the Vel'Koz. Yeah, you need. It's challenging, and it feels really weird to just abandon your lane like that, but in these situations where you lose an early tower in the bot lane, you have to match the rotation, or at least guess, like, try to guess. Like, maybe they go top and you go mid to try to match, but the one thing with the Kennen top is he doesn't have wave clear, so if they rotate the top, he can't wave clear against 2 people or 3 people. He just can't. Like, he's not built for that. He's built to bully lane and shove that way with autos. He's not built to clear waves when they get shoved. So... kill landing on 2 diving there. Diving maybe a little bit too much there.
Yeah, not quite. Very surprised by the damage that Shadow and Scatter were able to put out there in the mid lane. Nice little pick by them. They might be able to answer with a plate here, but Caitlin Stark just hammering those waves. And
sure, I agree with that ultimate.
Yeah,
there,
Chains of Corruption there, just keeping him under
something,
turret.
I guess. Get some poke down.
Yeah, but Caitlin Stark had already done his job. He had cleared that wave, so no plate there from Bronze 5H.
So Bronze 5H are in a spot now where they basically have to just commit to some fights. It's looking like they're not doing that. It looks like they're going to split off.
Ooh, Scattercats gets caught. Here comes the ultimate by Mordekaiser. He has targeted the Varus and is going for that. So everybody else just kind of hanging around, wondering when Alien Roll is going to come out of that ultimate. Just does not get the kill in the back end. Here comes the Rocket, and he's 3 for 3 on the snipes. Alien Roll still alive. Can he sustain?
And the heal up from the
Lord.
Mordekaiser. Oh, man. Worst. Bad goes the worst here for Bronze 5H.
That's so unfortunate.
Caitlin Stark looking like Steph Curry with the long-range ults over here, just hitting him from downtown.
Yep, that's his 3rd of the game. Weaved that.
That's gonna be 15 platings. They're gonna get 15 platings.
Yep.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah,
okay.
Back out here.
I'm questioning. Yeah, you got snowballed on, but I'm kind of questioning the lane assignments here from... We got a top tower that went down, too. Diving just took top tower down. Tier 2.
Yeah.
I think Bronze 5H seem to be struggling a little bit with just, like, lane assignments and what to do when they get behind early.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do, because you got to kind of... There's, like, a lot of outside-the-box thinking you need to do when you get down in games like this. Where you can't just be thinking about what's in front of you. You have to think about what's next. Not just for you, but for the other team. So... We see the impact of... You're starting to see this in professional play, too, with
we have a little bit of fight break out there.
Nice pick.
They just burst down Lone Sparrows. Diving goes down, too, as Kennen comes in with the Slicing Maelstrom. Psychopez actually going into Caitlin Stark, but not able to proc that stun in time. But very decisive call, and Insignia got caught napping and lose both of their support in their mid.
Insignia... As ahead as they are, they need to realize that like they can't just be giving kills like that.
Yeah.
They were really disciplined in the last game about playing around their vision and not giving Bronze 5H any of the ways back into the game. You saw what the plays on the Baron Pit in the last game. But in this situation, they're getting a little bit sloppy, maybe feeling themselves a little too much. You got to be careful in these kind of situations. Because I actually do think they're outscaled. I know Jinx is like a really, really strong scaling carry, but I think the damage profile we're seeing, looks like we might have a dragon fight here.
Yeah. Aileron will stepping in on the Mordekaiser. See if they're able to catch him out. Yeah, they're committing to that play. He's going to call out the 1v1 with the ultimate, but Shadow's just going to dunk him with the Pop Blossom. Meanwhile, Vel'Koz huge damage on the backside. They may actually turn 2 kills off of this. Rolling Thunder comes in as Lightning looks for his target. Does get CC'd, but diving flashes over the wall. He wants Scattercat. He's not going to be able to finish that kill, or is he? Does get the 2 autos in at the end, but trade comes in.
Good trade.
Aggressive turret dive, and Diving's going to pay for that one. So overall, a 2 for 3 as Insignia lives with a few more members. They might turn on this dragon as their jungler is still up, while Bronze 5 Ages is not.
Yeah, I actually think that was an okay trade for Bronze 5 Age. They're going to lose the Infernal Drake here, which feels really bad, but you're kind of looking for anything at this point. It was a really, really good positioning and setup by Lone Sparrows. Again, he's been excellent in both of these games so far, where he kind of saw this play developing, set up in the old banana bush on red side there, and just got a full channel Lifeform Disintegration right on 2 people.
Yeah.
Early in the game like this, you're not living through that, so... still not a bad trade for Bronze 5 Age. They're going to lose Infernal, but... looks like... Alright, so we do have Gunblade from Cephas, looking like he is going to be contributing to team fights.
Yeah.
One of the cool things about Kennen is that he can kind of do both.
Right.
Even when he's not the split push build, he can still split pretty well and 1v1 pretty well. He's a really versatile champion. So, Bronze 5 Age do have options in this game. They could have a 1-4 split with him. They can team fight with him. They're going to have options. They have a pretty versatile composition here, so I'm not ruling them out completely, but the next few minutes are going to be really crucial to figuring out just how far behind they're going to get in this game, because with a 6.5k gold lead for Insignia...
Ooh, they're going on Aileron roll here. Also, Restip does flash forward. He used the pillar a little bit earlier, but Cephas comes in with the Gunblade, and I think they're going to slow him just enough to catch up. Shadow is here, but doesn't even matter. They take him down.
I love the decisiveness from Bronze 5 Age here. They realize that they're behind. They need to start making plays.
Oh, here we go. Chains of Corruption. Psychopez comes in with the combo. That's the kill. The tower targets Caitlyn Stark. He goes down. Psychopez flashes forward the auto. Cephas teleports down here to be involved in both the top and the bottom plays. Scattercat with the piercing arrow at the back end. And wow, they pick up 3 quick kills here on very decisive plays, like you said, on both halves of the map.
Yeah, this is a window for Insignia where with the Baron or with the Dragon down and Baron not spawning yet and Herald off the map, you can't just be giving. Don't give them any windows back into this game, right? Bronze 5 Age, recognizing that a mistake's happening, doing a really, really good job punching back and taking what's given to them. It's kind of handed to him on a silver platter. There's a really, really nice headbutt from him. It's like, oh, we're gonna have to kill the mid here too.
They might have caught Lone Sparrows, and the Cannon coming in with the Slicing Maelstrom, the Gunblade on such a low cooldown, able to use that effectively in top and mid. And Shadow with damage and utility build, able to help slow the target and pick up yet another.
Awesome. A lot of momentum coming in here for Bronze 5 Age, and I actually think despite the goal lead, they're like back in this game.
Oh, also Restip does pop the ultimate, and all of a sudden Lightning is not tanky anymore. It does have to flash out, but here goes Psycho Pizzin onto Caitlyn Stark. Alien Roll might be caught as well. The stun come in, but so much AoE damage. Caitlyn Stark is hammering on the backside. Psycho Pizz is going to go down, but they've traded the Jinx as well. Here comes Scattercat. He's going to clean up 2 targets. Double kill for him. And Bronze 5 Age come out at the end of that fight. Diving not there the entire time.
Wow. Insignia really punting this lead here, I hate to say. They got to take a deep breath, settle down. They still have a pretty big gold lead. They have a really fed Jinx. I think they're getting a little riled up and caught into this all the skirmishing that Bronze 5 Age is doing. So really good punchbacks from Bronze 5 Age, recognizing that they're in a hole, they got to do something, and they've chained together a series of plays now that have turned out really favorably for them. So back in this game, I think this gold lead, they cut the gold lead in half in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah. And you see why Bronze 5 Age is so good at picking this Trundle into tank junglers. It almost looked like Austin Restip was caught out there. He's very low health. All of a sudden, just within seconds of popping that Subjugate, and all of a sudden the Volibear was not his home anymore. He had to go trundling out, and then that just left the fight up for Bronze 5 Age to take on the backside. Psychopez, very decisive play, going in for the headbutt combo into the backline on Caitlyn Stark, and despite the crits he was raining down, it was just more members of Bronze 5H there to take the fight. So
I do think it's interesting. So the combination of Varus plus Trundle is really, really good at killing a tank.
Yeah.
So really, they can kill any target whenever they want. So we didn't talk about it too much during the draft, but the ease of execution is definitely on the side of Bronze 5H with these team comps. So, I mean, you're seeing it too. See champ, kill champ. They're just picking out whoever's there. They don't care who it is. And that's been working out for them.
yeah, all 5 members here down there for each team other than Ailar on roll, who does have the teleport. They're here for this dragon coming up in 30 seconds. It is another Infernal. So Bronze 5H definitely want there first. Infernal Dragon here of this game. And they do have 5 members here, so they're able to step up and control the river for now. But Ailar on roll is on his way down. He's actually going to TP into mid. Alston Reston may be caught out here. But we got 2 fights on different sides here. It's going to be a 2v2 on both sides. Alston Reston is going to maybe go down here in the end, but on the backside, it looks like Insignia may be mopping up this fight. Psychopez goes down as well. It's a 3-for-0 overall. Shadow going to have to flash out. Is going to be able to clone his way to safety as Scatter follows him. But yeah, Bronze 5H barely
really
losing
unfortunate it's the second Infernal. Really, really unfortunate it's the second Infernal for Bronze 5H because this game could get out of hand now.
Maybe a split call there. One of the things that's really, really important when approaching Dragon from the offside, or same goes for Baron, is when you're on the weak side of whether it's Dragon or Baron, the weak side being the side that the pit is on, you need to kind of commit to the river early, or you're going to get split up by a decisive call from the other team, and that's kind of what happened there. Looked like Bronze 5H were setting up for the Dragon. They wanted to contest it, but Insignia were able to step into the river, gain control, and just basically split that fight into 2 fights right down the middle, right? Because of the position, the decisiveness they had moving into the river. Yeah. So Bronze fight, you saw Austin Redstip got picked on his way down, and then the bot fight was a extended like 3.5 versus 3.5 kind of, just because it got split down the middle. And those situations, like skirmish situations, Insignia's comp's way better with the Lucian. So
yeah, and crucially, Scattercat's Varus was not on the side with the Volibear and the Mordekaiser, so didn't get to use his advantage of tank shredding. And in that squishy 3v3, I think Scatter was with Shadow and Cephas versus diving Caitlyn and Lone Sparrows. The Jinx definitely wins out. Her flat 2 items with that Infinity Edge is going to beat the Varus tank shredding build when the 2 tanks are on the other side of the fight. So the one kind of split fight that Scatter wasn't going to win there. So
yeah, I think we talked about ease of execution. Part of that ease of execution for the side of Bronze 5H is that they need to play front to back, or like 4 in the front and Kennen flanking or something like that. And when that offensive line concept breaks down, all of a sudden your team kind of breaks down a little bit more. So because you're not able to play front to back to protect the Varus all of a sudden exposed on the back end. The Nico's exposed on the back end. There's not a lot those champs can do. So you would be playing front to back. We see Insignia leveraging around Baron here, trying to abuse their vision. Again, red side able to... They have to kind of commit to the river early. Insignia understanding that concept, doing a really good job with it here. Bronze 5H are in a spot where they need to pick a choke point to go into. I think they should try to move around, get into mid lane, and enter that way. That way they're not getting completely decimated by Vel'Koz's ultimate, I think, is probably a better approach. Rather than coming in from this banana bush or from the blue ramp, where a Vel'Koz's ultimate can just like completely destroy you.
Yeah, and when you lose mid lane prio, some of the choke points that were in your favor or were even suddenly become a lot more dark. And Insignia looks like they're starting it up, and they're going to burn this one down pretty quickly. It's already at half health. Bronze 5H not quite responding to this. They're starting to walk up now, but it might just be too late. 2,000 health on the Baron, and yeah, it's just going to get taken. So Baron goes to Insignia.
Insignia want to get out of this. Don't take this fight. You got the Baron. Get out. Oh, looks
like
they're going to take
Cephas, lightning rush in. Also rest up on the back line. They have deleted the Jinx. Vel'Koz getting off the ultimate. Cephas very low. Is going to get taken down to the backside. It is a 2-for-2 overall, but double kill goes to the Volibear. She's going crazy. Deaths everywhere. A 3-for-4. Insignia going to try to clean up Shadow on the back end, who gets the root onto 2. Does clean up a kill on the backside, but lightning just too big on this Volibear. Going to be running in. Doubt Shadow has the utility to escape out of this one, but he does shapeshift here. He may have the E up. Does quite get him with the Tangle Barbs, and Lightning just able to get within reach with that fear. And very close fight. Insignia do take it 5-4. They have Baron on one member. Yep.
So I don't. That was actually, I believe it or not, I think that was actually a favorable trade for Bronze 5-8.
Yeah.
Again, we talk about like Insignia. All Insignia needed to do was get out there. But I guess maybe they're thinking. I don't know if it's that they weren't thinking about this next level of this, or if they were just kind of in the moment, or maybe they're thinking that they need to end this game sooner rather than later. That they took that fight, but they absolutely did not need to take that fight. They could have disengaged. That fight could have gone horribly wrong for them.
Yeah.
It didn't, but it definitely could have. So.
Yeah, and if they have more Barons, you could see them splitting up the Mordekaiser, the Lucian, putting pressure on more lanes. But now that they only have the Baron on the Volibear, they kind of had to group up. And with Bronze 5H's better team fight composition at this point in the game, then much more ideal to keep all
yeah, this is a dangerous one. It's weird to say because they have the Baron, but it's just kind of a dangerous window for Insignia where they're kind of forced to 5v5. I'm not entirely sure why Alston's splitting off like this.
Yeah.
A lot of really interesting lane assignments over the course of these two games from Bronze 5 Age. Maybe it's next level genius. I don't know.
Well,
but
we'll see.
Hasn't went. This good.
Maybe they think. Ooh, the fight. Volibear goes in. He's very tanky, but is going to get rooted up several times. Taken down in the end. Oh, but here comes the Lightform Disintegration Ray. Blast through two members. Psychopez and Scattercat are down. Aileron roll in the back line. Is going to be taking down his target, and that's 2 kills for Insignia. And there goes the third. Also, rest of still pushing in the top lane, but it's just Shadow left. Diving, flashing forward, but it's 3-1, and I'm not sure this becomes worth it. Yeah, also rest of not able to take down Inhibitor, but Insignia pushing onto the Inhibitor Bronze 5H here in the bottom lane.
They're just so strong, and they can just tank that tower. They didn't need a minion wave. I think this might be a little bit of an overstay.
Yeah, Pop Blossom is still available for Shadow, but he's going to get deleted before he can use it, and all of a sudden there are no members alive for Bronze 5H. Not quite able to get off their spells, and Insignia could win right here.
Likely going to be game. Likely going to be the game here. Looking like they're going to try to reset.
Yes. Okay. They're going to go on to Caitlyn Stark. The Ignite is down, but Psychopat's just taken down. Yeah, there's too many carries alive. So much damage from Insignia. Diving in Caitlyn Stark, outputting so much. Cephas is here. No ultimate, crucially. No Slicing Maelstrom. Lightform Disintegration Ray gets him very low. And one last snipe doesn't end with Caitlyn Stark, but a 2-0 for Insignia going into Game 3.
Wow, really turning the corner fast in this game. It looked like Bronze 5H were getting some momentum back into this game, and then Insignia just shut the door on it. I know I critiqued that Baron fight, that they didn't need to take it, but they ended up winning anyway. So,
yeah.
Well played by Insignia. Insignia putting the pedal to the metal in both these games. Really aggressive. Sometimes for better, sometimes for most of the time for better, sometimes for worse. But really aggressive play from Insignia here. I'm impressed.
Yeah, and their ability to bounce back and navigate fights correctly when the momentum was on Bronze 5H, especially that fight around the Dragon. Very level-headed play of them to win a split fight in which they had been losing the last couple of fights. So awesome job from them to be able to bounce back and take team fights in a composition where it didn't seem like they should be able to. So good job from them.
I think in both games now we've seen like I think the word of the series, the buzzword of the series is leverage. And Insignia have done a really good job leveraging positioning in team fights, positioning in river, positioning around objectives, understanding that having priority in lanes lets you play around the jungle in that area. They've done that really well in both games. A little bit sloppy at times, but for the most part, doing an excellent job understanding where and when they're strong and how to push that advantage. So.
Alrighty, well, guys, 2-0 up for Insignia. We're going to go into Game 3. This is a best out of 5. We'll see if Bronze 5H can come back with a reverse sweep or if Insignia is going to close things out here. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Game 3 in just a moment. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. We're about to do Game 3 here between Insignia and Bronze 5H. Sorry for the long delay. These teams were talking intense strategies because they're down to the wire here. Insignia on match point here. If they win here, they are the champions of DEMACIAN. Bronze 5H have to stave things off with a nice, real easy reverse sweep. No big deal for them.
No big deal. We'll be here for a long time with the reverse sweep.
Yeah, boy. So. What are you guys? 11 o'clock your time? So
yep.
right around 2 o'clock. That's nothing much. But so my stream is acting up again. Every time I cast this, I do one game where the pro draft works, and then the next game the pro draft link will not work and it won't show anything. So
I have a okay. I was gonna say I have it open in case they need to go. Just let me know when you're good.
I mean, in any cases, I just let the players go ahead and draft, and I just cast the draft, and our viewers just watch nothing. So sucks for them, but that's all we can do.
Yeah. We'll just tell them to go then, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And if you figure it out, you figure it out.
Yeah. Why don't you talk them through the draft, and I'll.
I mean, I can. Yeah, I was gonna say I can talk them through it. It's a little bit weird not having it up, but
yeah, do what we can here.
And then we can just talk about it again as we go.
Yeah.
Kind of just narrate. They haven't started yet, so.
Okay, cool.
Fill in space. Oh, here we go, and we're kicking off the draft for Game 3.
Hey, and I got it working on my screen, so.
Perfect.
Look at that. Good timing.
I wonder if it has something to do with not.
It
like it works when they
be,
started.
yeah. Might not be a coincidence that worked at the exact same time. But here we go, guys. Game 3 again. Insignia going to miss their first 3 bans, so we won't see anything coming out from them. They will get their last 2 in between first and second pick phase, but Bronze 5H. So Game 1, they banned the Vayne, the Nunu, and the Xerath. Game 2, they banned the Vayne, the Nunu, and the Pike, of course. So I imagine we'll see Vayne, Nunu, and Pike again. I don't think Insignia played anything, and this is, I guess, a matter of opinion, so you can chime in on this. I don't know if Insignia played anything in Game 2 that Bronze 5H is going to want to sub for any of their other bans. Because with how
I don't think so. If they're really terrified of this Vayne and this Nunu, then I'm not sure they're not. Like, they're just going to run the same 3 bans back, I would think, unless they want to change things up.
I feel like we will see Vayne, Nunu, Pike yet again. I mean, we talked about it a lot, but I think Bronze 5H definitely had the tools that they needed to pull out a win in that game. Bot lane, like you said, got cheesed. Vel'Koz and Jinx got a nice early lead very, very early on. So that doesn't happen. Bronze 5H are able to play a little smarter around that level 1, and things could be very different. So
yeah, I think I liked the draft a lot for Bronze 5. In the last game. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see them run something similar back. It's maybe a little bit different from Red Side with the counter picks available to them, but I would like to see something similar again. It was a much better draft than the first game where they were just going to get shoved in 3 lanes. So there's the Nico first pick from Insignia. Good takeaway. Okay.
Yep. We saw Bronze 5H pick that first both times in the Game 1 and Game 2. So now Nico going to go to the other side and see who's likely to play that. I know Diving has played a lot of that Nico. Might just see that again mid lane. So we'll see what Shadow has in response.
Are we seeing the Vel'Koz takeaway?
Yeah, do we have the labels switched on these teams, or are they actually picking each other's champions now?
Wow. Okay, the early Vel'Koz lock.
So yeah, this is kind of interesting because this is actually not too surprising. If you take the nameplates off and forget about the other 2 games, or I guess you leave the nameplates on and forget about the other 2 games, Shadow's actually Vel'Koz, other than Nico, is probably his best champion. And Diving actually does play a lot of Nico, so...
Seif is going to get his hands on the Mordekaiser this time around. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, all right, so I'm assuming this is probably going to be a Shadow Vel'Koz. We don't know yet, but based on how he likes the champion, I would guess it's probably going to be a Shadow Vel'Koz.
Yeah, it's more what Psychopez likes to play that convinces me he's not going to be on the Vel'Koz. Like we see him, Alistar, Leona, Nautilus, that kind of stuff. He looked pretty uncomfortable on the Morgana. It just didn't seem like his style. You saw
he looked a lot more comfortable on the Alistar in the last game.
Which is why I suspect the Vel'Koz may go to Shadow, or very likely
Fiora! Wow,
so,
okay, we're seeing all sorts of things this game so far.
Yeah, so this is an aileron roll Fiora, which is something that, I mean, he's definitely not played it in this league. but maybe a counter pick that he's practiced into Mordekaiser. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely something that can work well in a Mordekaiser. Obviously, once you get to a certain point, the Fiora ultimate, Fiora is good at 1v1ing.
Yeah,
She's a duelist. It's like what she's supposed to do.
Bring it on, Mordekaiser.
And Mordekaiser says, "Okay, let's 1v1," and Fiora's just like, "Okay." So I like the counter pick here. I haven't seen Isla Rumble play this before. Fiora is pretty difficult. She's a challenging champion to play, so gonna be interesting to see how the execution is, because this is not something I've seen him play on before. When you have the Jinx from Bronze 5 Age. This is so weird. I didn't talk about it, but I love the Jarvan pick into Vel'Koz. It's just so good against that champion, and you're gonna get double duty here against the Jinx.
Yeah.
Really, I think the Jinx is kind of a dangerous pick by Bronze 5 Age, because Jarvan ult is just so good against both those champions. You like have that flash. So
yeah, and yeah, you bring up a good point. Shadow and Scattercat have to be very mindful of their spacing. Otherwise, if they, other than the Mordekaiser, if they pick tanks in both jungle and support, and the Jarvan locks up 2 carries, well, that's just going to be bad news bears. Nico's following up, and yeah.
More support bans coming in. Oh, they're banning out. Okay, I like this from Insignia.
Yeah.
Taking Psychopaths off. The Morgana pick's a little strange. Maybe hinting at a Blitzcrank.
Yeah, so
Crank is pretty good against Jinx.
Yeah, Psychopath still has Leona. I was about to say that, which would likely dissuade, or maybe dissuade Lone Sparrows from locking in the Blitz. He'd have to play it against Leona.
I just found it interesting that they banned Morgana and not Leona against Psychopaths, right?
Yeah.
Play these engage esports. He didn't look too impactful on the Morgana, but maybe they're thinking of something else.
Yeah.
What other? Maybe Nautilus. Braum, Nautilus, Lucian Braum would be really good here, I think.
Yeah. Either way, we're going to see a new champion from Lone Sparrows. He's played Thresh, Pyke, Blitzcrank, Xerath. So, I mean, he could still lock in Blitz here, but it's unlikely against Leona. So,
yeah,
expect to see something. Expect to see something new from him here. And did the
Volibear support?
Yeah, look at that.
Right, cool. All right, so for those that don't know, the Volibear support is kind of picking up steam. The idea is you can kind of abuse Hex Flash and just camp in the bush. And so if you get any kind of shove whatsoever, you can just sit in one of the side bushes, basically use your Hex Flash on cooldown to try to force flashes or picks out of the other bot lane. And it tends to be a little bit more impactful than some of the support tanks that you see otherwise in team fights. So, interesting. Actually, it trades surprisingly well. Volibear does a lot of damage early on, so...
Yeah. While we're throwing in odd chances, we know Lightning is a good Volibear player. We've seen Jarvan support.
Yeah, Jarvan support is definitely a thing. It could be that.
I mean, it really could be, either, but there's just the notion that although Volibear support might be more expected, that Jarvan still could be a thing, given how comfortable Volibear is for Lightning. It's kind of a nameplate thing that may consider us to suggest an alternative. But Dr. Mundo, we didn't really discuss this, but that is Cephas's best champion. So with the 2 bans aimed at Psychopaths in the second phase, Cephas able to get his hands on this strong pick. Meaning the Mordekaiser's jungle then?
I think it's a Mundo jungle.
Okay.
It could be either. We're gonna have to wait until actual champ select to see. It could be either. I think Mundo is way better in the jungle. His clear is actually pretty fast, and he's really good at just staying healthy once he gets past his first clear. And fast clear, healthy junglers tend to give Jarvan problems if it's Jarvan jungle. So maybe Bronze 5 Age. Kind of guessing blind here, but...
So, Jelani, I'm clicking on Olsen Restiv's op.gg, and his most recent game I see here, normal 10, 2, and 5 on Jungle Mordekaiser. So,
okay, so maybe it is Jungle Mordekaiser.
I don't... Yeah.
We have double flex here from both teams, so we don't know where the Mundo Mordekaiser are going to be split some way, and Jarvan Volibear are going to be split some way. You know, the more I'm thinking about it, it might actually be a Jarvan support, but I don't think I like that as much as the volley in this situation.
Yeah.
Jarvan supports can be really good, and I like the idea of just like jumping on the Jinx or the Vel'Koz. But Jarvan against Leona, I feel like is just really problematic for the Jarvan. She just does your job better.
Yeah.
Like lower cooldowns, doesn't take 2 abilities to do it. She's tankier than you are early. But we'll see. Let's wait and see where these assignments go, because again, what's really interesting to me is Insignia have like this a weird kind of combination of a composition here. They have a very clear engagement with the Jarvan and the Volibear, but they kind of like block each other in a weird way.
Yeah.
And the Nico follow-up is good. Lucian can defend himself, that's good. But they don't have great wave clear for a Fiora split push either, and they don't have like another side lane threat either.
Right.
Like, I guess the Nico can be, but it's kind of just a hodgepodge composition of like champions they think are good.
Yeah.
Which can work. I mean, that kind of was what they did last game too. They didn't really have that clear of a game plan last game either, except for win lanes. But Bronze 5 Age, I think, have a very, very, once again, easy to execute composition. So I think as long as they don't get behind, the last 2 games they've gotten behind really badly early, so we haven't really gotten to see them set up, because they just haven't been able to find their footing in any of these games. We saw it a little bit in the last game, but they've gotten so far down in both of these games that we haven't really been able to see them get set up. So I think, again, Bronze 5 Age, I like this draft a lot more, regardless of where Mordekaiser and Mundo go.
Yeah.
And regardless of where the Jarvan and the Volibear go. But, again, that hasn't mattered necessarily, so.
Yeah, and I think it will come down to any early game pathings by the junglers, if we see any surprise visits into certain lanes, because on paper, Bronze 5 Age, we've seen Shadow play as Vel'Koz a lot. He looks very comfortable. He knows how to not die in any matchup, not to mention Vel'Koz is actually a good matchup into the Nico. Usually long-range mages beat medium-range control mages, generally speaking, and are able to actually do more with the lane. In the top lane, I mean, Cephas, it looks like Cephas wanted the Mundo into the Fiora, so it sounds like he knows how to play that matchup. You would figure that he's going to be going tabbies first and knows how to not die in that.
I would think that's in the advantage of the Fiora eventually, but again, like, if he knows the matchup, I kind of love situations like this where a person just like, I'm gonna play the character that I know because I know I've played this matchup any number of times, and that's better than never playing a matchup, right? Yeah. So maybe on paper not the greatest matchup for Mundo, but if he just knows what he's doing, then it can make total sense. Just rush Tabby's Thornmail. That makes Tabby's Bramble Vest or whatever it is. That makes a lot. That makes a lot more sense than playing something you don't know, trying to counterpick a champion with a matchup you're not entirely sure of. So
So as we look at the,
it is going to be Volley jungle
again. So exactly. So as we're looking at the client draft going on, the Volibear has been locked for the jungler, and Alson Restip is taking the Mordekaiser. So that's going to be a Jarvan support and the Mundo top, like we talked about. So
Jarvan support's a really weird one. We talked about it a little bit already, but I like the Jarvan ultimate against both Vel'Koz and Jinx, but they're going to have a really, really hard time before 6 in this bottom lane. Like, Leona, again, just does your job better. She can do what you do in 2 cooldowns in 1.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's just a better stat champion than you are because you're not built to be a support character. So, going to be a risky bottom lane, I think, for Insignia, but they've outplayed that so far, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
I think he's ease of execution on Bronze 5 Age's side, which I think is good, especially when you're behind. You just want to do something that's easy. They can once again see champ, kill champ, and run resets. They can kind of just bulldoze any team fight with Mordekaiser and Mundo if they get ahead. I actually like this comp from Bronze 5 Age a lot, as long as Aileron rolls Fiora, it doesn't get too far out of control.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is going to be like an AD Nico. I know that sounds kind of weird, or like on-hit Nico instead of the Glacial.
Yeah.
Do like a 1-3-1.
I haven't seen Diving play this champion because he's played top lane for the whole season. So, I mean, we've seen him play Malzahar, but we've also seen him play Lucian mid. So, it seems like a kind of player that you wouldn't necessarily say, oh, he's going to go on the utility Nico. It seems like he could bust out of the full AP or go an on-hit if they really want to commit to a 1-3-1.
Yeah, the thing is, so Nico's wave clear isn't that bad. I'm trying to think of a situation where Bronze 5 Age don't get behind and they just group up.
Yeah.
And I don't see how Insignia wins any of those fights. But I also don't think, like, typically when you have a 1-3-1 or any kind of split pushing strategy, you want to have a solid. Your group of 3 needs to be able to fend for themselves, and part of fending for yourselves is wave clearing against 4 or 5 people, right? So if you have, typically that's why you see champions like Varus or Ashe, like 80 carries that can wave clear, or junglers like Gragas that can contribute to wave clearing. You see that a lot of times, and you see champs that can disengage or like repel a dive.
Yeah.
And in this case, Lucian's mobile. Lucian has the culling, but like that's only going to be every other wave, like if he has max CDR. And Nico does have some wave clear, but like if you look at Insignia's comp as a 1-3-1 composition, Jarvan, Lucian, and Volibear aren't exactly the greatest at defending a siege.
Yeah.
Or interrupting a Baron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and Bronze 5 Age are really good they have a comp that can just pull the trigger and dive you. So I'm not entirely sure what Insignia was thinking here, but
we weren't sure what they were thinking last game, but
yeah, and it worked out for them.
Yeah.
So they might just be, picking comfortable champions or picking comfortable matchups and just trying to outplay. So
alrighty, well, we got about a minute, close to 2 minutes left, and with this last minute and a half, we're going to announce the results of the All-Star voting for Demacia. So those were just sent to me recently by Scattercat, and I saw in the chat you guys have been waiting for those. And to be honest, I forgot about them, but now we got them here. So in the support role for Demacia, 3rd place, we have him featured in this game. Lone Sparrows from Insignia got the bronze medal for the Demacia support. Silver medal went to the other player in this game. Psychopez took that one. And 1st place in the Demacia support voting, the All-Star, Noctua Esports' The Flaccid Bunny takes that one. So Demacia support, congratulate the Flaccid Bunny when you see him on the Rift. Well earned and a great support indeed for Noctua Esports. On ADC, 2nd and 3rd place were actually tied. So Scattercat and Noctua Esports' ADC Perseverance were actually tied for 2nd place. But 1st place, he's in this game. It's Caitlyn Stark. Takes the gold medal for Demacia ADC and wins the All-Star voting in that regard. Let's hop over to the mid lane. Very close voting here. We actually see Shadow2097 take bronze medal. 3rd place in the mid lane All-Star voting. 2nd place goes to Noctua Esports' mid Goiner. And 1st place, not featured in this game, Defiance mid Minor Threat. So great season from him. Actually climbed quite a lot. I think climbed a whole division during the season and put on consistent performances on his.
It didn't work.
Yeah, no first place, no surprise to Minor Threat from Team Defiance. So well done on mid lane All-Star. In the jungle, 3rd place goes to the Amo on Defiant. Takes that bronze medal. 2nd place, he's in this game. He's playing Mordekaiser. Alston Reztip barely edged out of 1st place. Very close between 1st and 2nd here in the Demacia jungle. But the winner is Soul Reaver from Noctua Esports. So Noctua with a pretty strong showing in the All-Star voting as he takes 1st place in the jungle. Lastly, top lane, we had a 3-way tie for 2nd place between Diving, Improv, and Cephas. So 2 of those 3 members in this game. But by a long shot, the winner, again from Noctua Esports, was Hyares in the top lane. So congratulations to Hyares, Soul Reaver, Minor Threat, Caitlyn Stark, and the Flaccid Bunny for winning the Demacia All-Star voting. And with that, we will send it on to the Rift as the game has just begun.
You can't teach transitions like that, people. You just can't do it.
Yeah, honestly.
Let's everybody give Foozle a round of applause here.
Yep,
well done, sir.
Thank you. Calculated.
So, both teams possible level 1 invades here. Going to be interesting to see. I would think that we're going to see a fan out from both sides after the pseudo clown fiestas we've seen at level 1 in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and that is what we see, yeah.
And yeah, sure enough, it's going to look at each other all funny. I love this Valkyrie skin. I'll never get tired of this Valkyrie skin. It's so good, man. You go, and a little bit of poke. I was gonna say there's no Klepto level 1s to get any huge advantage.
Yeah.
And shallow ward here from the side of. I'm all mixed up now. I'm all mixed up. So bronze 5 Age is on red side again. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So shallow ward on the blue. It's not gonna be able to see too much.
Yeah, that might throw me a bit too.
Start.
Having bronze 5 Age for the first time on the red side. Blue side both games 1 and 2.
So Insignia did have side choice for game 3. So, or no, Bronze 5H did have side choice for game 3. They're gonna have side choice game 1, 3, and 5. So.
Junglers starting on the same sides of the map, both getting bot lane leashes. So
hinting at a probable 2v2 in the top lane in a couple minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
I would think that's probably going to be in favor of Cephas and Alston, but we shall see. And maybe both junglers don't want to necessarily do that, so just a possibility there. Again, we talked about this this bottom lane. Level 1 Jarvan is not great, so they got to be real careful not to get beaten too quickly to level 2 here. Scattercat and Psychopaths, I'm going to be looking to try to hit 2 and just go the second they do it, because they're going to win this trade almost every time. The Leona.
Here comes Lightning with the quick level 2 gank and gets the flash out of Vel'Koz. So nice little play there. Oh, here comes the Jarvan. E into Q. Scattercat going very low with the Ignite, and Jarvan just pops him with the Ignite. So absolutely incredible level 2 all-in, and so much burst damage with the Electrocute.
Yeah, I did not factor in the Electrocute. That's my fault. Electrocute definitely a big deal in that kind of situation, and they beat Scattercat and Psychopaths gave them the level 2. They didn't have to cede position like that. They should have held the line and maybe tried to get. They should have beat them to level 2, and they didn't. They had range advantage. They had Leona advantage. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe just a lack of understanding, but that's going to be a huge swing. Scattercat lost his flash and his heal, and that's going to mean that Jarvan can just land an EQ, and it's going to be problematic. So all of a sudden, this bot lane that we thought would be in favor of Bronze 5H is going to be in favor of Insignia until Scatter's flash is back up.
Yeah.
Maybe level 6 also, but Insignia just dominating lanes in all 3 games. Cephas has been doing a pretty good job in matchups that are favored for him and not favored for him, but bottom lane kind of just getting dunked on a little bit.
Yeah. We saw a good trade go in the mid lane in favor of Shadow there, was actually able to get the Vel'Koz third spell proc passive as Aileron might all in the top. Yeah, no ignites on either of these guys. Both have TP, so
good discipline showed by both sides there, I think.
Yeah. Likely not to see his fight to the death as much, but yeah, Shadow actually looking very good on this Vel'Koz, was winning a couple of trades there into Diving's aggressive Nico. So
this top lane matchup is kind of interesting because post 6 it becomes a lot easier for Mundo to like take a trade and get out, but pre 6 Fiora can kind of just bully him around, and I think really smart of him not to force the flash there with the health, with the health advantage, because you now know. Oh no, never mind. Speaking of health advantage, just getting poked out by cleavers, or barbells in this case.
Yeah.
Maybe
also,
a gank
rest up is up here.
Side.
We'll see. Not sure if the parry is up. He's gonna land the Q. And does get the parry, but the spell wasn't going to land anyway, so no stun return. Also rested, flash forward. Not going to get the auto. Alien Roll does escape there, but does have to flash, so it is a flash for flash. And Cephas is probably pretty happy about that, as he now does not have to face a Fiora with flash in the top lane. So we'll see if that plays a factor in later on in the next 5 minutes. But
I think that's gonna be a big deal post 6, because it's gonna make it harder for Fiora to get all of her. The critical points or the points.
Vitals.
Vitals, yeah. It's going to make it difficult for her to get all of her vitals with ultimate out. But I think Alston, this is a good lane for him to revisit too, because as frustrating as parry is, like this is a pretty easy lane to gank. As Mordekaiser, like you can get cooldowns and blow Aileron Roll's mana pretty easily. I like walking back to lane here and not playing TP by Aileron's good decision.
Yeah. And the wave's kind of in that middle spot.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for people to get on autopilot and just they get used to doing this, especially after they get a blown flash. A lot of times you want to teleport to catch a wave and you can get autopiloted and catch yourself making that mistake, but really smart on him to just walk this out. Lane's under no pressure whatsoever. So bot lane stacking a wave toward the tower. Lightning in the enemy jungle here over at the blue buff. Looking like he got spotted.
Yeah. Good awareness from Bronze 5H to call that out. All their laners are able to move over, so effective communication. So that's good to see.
Thing is, this lane is getting stacked in the bottom lane, so they need to be careful at this.
Yeah.
This wave's getting pretty big. If this gets much bigger, then the Lightning and also fighting the jungle over wolves. I don't think you want to take this fight as Mordekaiser, but maybe you do now with the backup. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the fight in the top lane. Psychopez is here, does not quite land the Zenith Blade. Diving edges back with a little bit of poke, so that might have been a kill there.
Just missed.
Yeah, like you talked about, the wave under turret, Caitlyn Stark actually able to pressure from beneath Bronze 5H's turret.
They missed that entire wave off of that.
Yeah.
Again, Insignia doing such a good job playing around priority in these games. Like,
this is like, I don't want to say it's like a super high level concept, but it is kind of a high level concept of team play that kind of goes understated, I think, even professional play, where I think people think too narrowly about matchups and champions and team compositions, where if you just have shoving lanes and you can play around your jungler, like, interrupting things, it's such a huge factor. Like, they just gained a CS lead just from doing that and nothing happening from it.
Exactly.
Right? Again, just good understanding of leverage here. Again, they're going to stack a wave up again. Lightning's going to head over here, probably try to do Dragon or interrupt.
Contest the blue, yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to kind of see the same thing again.
Yeah, and here comes the Jarvan
really
and
good
the
job
Lucian.
by them.
Lone Sparrows is walking up, does have access to the Ignite, and here comes Lightning. Alston rested with no flash. He might just be dead here. The Flag and Drag comes and knocks him up. Alston rested does get the blue, but Caitlyn Stark sneaks in the end, and that's 2 assists going over to Lightning, who grabs the kill and the blue buff. So just like you were talking about, they move right up once again and secure the kill.
They just move as a team so well. I mean, even diving was a little late because the lane was neutral and mid, but again, like, even he's there to clean that up if that fight ends up going long. That was just really, really well done. Insignia looking pretty sharp here, firing on all cylinders. And again, like, one way to outplay getting out comped is just have lanes that win, and they've managed to win lane every game pretty badly.
One thing that is going really well for Bronze 5H is you see Cephas in the top lane did buy that early Bramblefest and was actually taking some really good trades against to Fiora. So whether or not this Executioner's Calling is going to do a lot of work for her, we have yet to see. But Cephas,
we had a double healing reduction right away, which is interesting.
Yeah,
you don't see that too often.
But yeah, Cephas handling himself very well in this lane, and the potential Fiora snowball is not something that Bronze 5H are worried about at this time.
I will say too that Insignia don't really have a good way to kill Dr. Mundo if he gets ahead.
Yeah,
like they have a good enough spread of damage, but Nico's gonna have a really hard time ever killing a Dr. Mundo. So if he just stacks armor, you don't exactly have hyper carries on the side of I mean, outside of Fiora who can get it done, but if this Mundo gets into team fights, it's going to be real tough to bring him down.
It is.
So Cephas has a chance to carry this game potentially, but Bronze 5H need to. This is 3 games in a row now where they've just kind of gotten bullied around the early game. Let's see if they understand and play better defense this time around.
And it starts with that vision. Right now, Alston Redstep walking around a pink that he's placed around the mid lane. You see Shadows placed one over on the top side of mid lane. But making sure that Lightning isn't able to take advantage of some of those choke opportunities and invade anymore. So it's a good start for them. Also, Cephas has placed a pink there in his Tri-Brush, so one of the good things you can do to stave off some of the bleeding, especially if Lightning invades consistently, like he has been.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Like, if you notice, like, right now, besides the bottom lane, which I think Psychopez is going to go ward right now, they have wards on all their ramps, like, into the jungle, so they're going to see any invades coming. Yeah, I think they want to move that one from their tri-up to the... Okay, yeah, what they're going to do. So, they understand what's happening. They're being a lot more proactive about defense this time. I think the next level to this is they need to be proactive about how they're playing the lanes out, too. Now, the bottom lane, we talked about, they should have the shove, but I think now that you see it's Electrocute Drive and you see if they have a gold lead, maybe you want to...
This could be a fight here. Psycho looking for it. Lands the slow, but the flash in here. Caitlyn Stark does have flash, but here's the Mordekaiser. He is going to walk out, and well played to escape there. Just needed to use his flash, so not quite converting on that CC from Bronze 5H.
Just narrowly avoided the ultimate there with the dash from Lucian.
Oh, let's cancel the recall. We got fights on 2 sides. As Cephas is in trouble in the bot lane, but there's in the top lane, but there's a bot lane fight going on as well. Cephas is likely going to get taken out here. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we have another couple of kills for Bronze 5H, or another couple of kills for Insignia as they take out both the support
Yeah,
and the jungle.
Alston caught recalling in a greedy spot. There was a ward in that bush.
Ooh, and Shadow might be in trouble here. Does miss the flash over the wall. Tangle Barbs don't quite land, and looks like he's going to be fine.
Yeah, so Alston Restive got caught recalling kind of a bad spot, and they waited and waited and waited to help get into position, and then Caitlyn just fired off the Lucian ultimate, got a lot of damage in on him, almost a full channel culling, and that fight just went south from there. It looked like Bronze 5H weren't prepped for a fight there.
Yeah.
They were just assuming the recall was going to happen, they were going to catch the wave, and that was going to be that, but, oh, there's some trick coming in bottom.
Yeah.
That was not the case. Caught him out, and once again, just really, really small mistakes from Bronze 5H, and Insignia have just punished so hard in all 3 of these games now.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job being proactive about things, but like that situation was not engineered by Insignia. Like that wasn't created by them. That was just a mistake, just straight up a mistake, recalling in a bad spot. So I still think Bronze 5H, this really, if you look at the last 2 games, this is going better for them than either of the first 2 games. So, and I would definitely give their comp better. Like at any time after like 25, 30 minutes, they're going to be in really good shape. So,
yeah. And if you're looking at them pound for pound, other than Mordekaiser, none of their laners are in a bad spot right now. Shadow does have a 15 CS lead. Jinx is farming pretty evenly, and we know how much of a carry she can be, especially compared to Lucian once you get to the later stages of the game. Cephas is up 20 CS, so they're all scaling towards these first 8 items pretty nicely. And one mid-game fight that Bronze 5H calls correctly and engages and sets up correctly, and we see this game swing completely.
And again, like we talk about ease of execution a lot in a lot of these games, but I think Bronze 5H definitely have an easier comp to execute here. So I think make a couple picks. Insignia weren't exactly the cleanest or most respectful in the last game. Oh, this could be the fight. Okay. Definitely still possible for them to get in this game. The next few minutes, while Jinx's flash is down, is going to be really, really crucial. They need to make sure they're not losing too much in that time frame. Might have a fight. Oh, there's a flash.
Oh, nice knockup, but not going to be enough as the Cataclysm dunks the Melkaz. But here we go, counterfight in the bot lane. There's the ult landing on both sides. Caitlyn Stark very low. Psychopez takes the kill with the Ignite, and it is overall a 1-for-1. Very good engage from Bronze 5H, noticing that the support had gone top. They're able to take advantage and kill Caitlyn Stark there.
They're going to be able to contest this dragon now, too. Yeah, Mordekaiser ultimate.
Can remove the jungler here.
Jarvan doesn't have ultimate.
Here comes the Pop Blossom, not going to land on anything. Good disengage from Bronze 5H.
You want to try to engage this now.
Here comes Lightning. Psychopez is going to go in. It's going to be kind of a front-to-back fight. The Jarvan goes onto the Flame Choppers, but here comes Fiora around the backside. Cephas is a little bit late with the teleport. Is a 2-for-1 overall, make that a 3-for-1. And just a little bit late there on the Dr. Mundo. He may fall in the end too. And a bit too split for Bronze 5H, giving Insignia 4 kills on the Dragon.
That was looking like it could have been like something even, but again, you want to neutralize losses when you have your carries flash down like that. Yeah. Maybe just a little bit too overzealous there from Bronze 5H.
Shadow might be able to cook them off of this. Still has this ultimate.
Yeah. He does have no flash, and he doesn't have to worry about the Tangle Barbs coming out from diving regardless of his health, so.
Just tough, I want to say tough break for Bronze 5H, but so like that before all there's a lot to unpack here. So that bottom lane, so the Lucian traded aggressively into Scattercans into the 1v2 in bottom lane. Oh, we got throw pop bottom, so go ahead.
Yeah, crucially the plate timing window has been down, and I think Insignia only got 2 plates this time compared to the 14 they got last time, so there is that, but still a great great pressure from Insignia in the bot lane, and they may get this charge off on that second turn. Shadow's here. Oh, this could turn. Ult lands onto both. Great ult by Psychopez. Catches both of them with the stun. Lone Sparrows has to go into Shadow to escape the fight, and he will do so, maybe. Scatter's chasing.
On knockup cooldown, I think.
Let's see if the zap will land here. Oh, the slow lands. Big damage. Also, Res Tip is on the flank. Lone Sparrow making a kill on the back end. He does. Cataclysm is up, but also Res Tip there to finish off with a Mordekaiser
nice
Q.
Trade back. Wow. So yeah, a lot going on. Leading up to that dragon fight, I wanted to briefly talk about. So Caitlyn Stark went in 1v2 against Scattercat and Psychopez. It looked like he was just going to get away with that, and I was thinking, oh man, Scattercat, don't take too much damage before this dragon fight. They end up turning it on him, but because of that, they didn't have cooldowns up.
Yeah.
Jarvan didn't have the cooldown up because of the pick they made on the Vel'Koz before. So you had this really weird Dragon Dance with teams that didn't have ultimates up. And it just slightly went it went heavily in the favor of Insignia, but it just didn't quite. I don't think Bronze 5H played it slow enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so we have the rotation to the top side again. Let's see if Bronze 5 get it this time around. Because the last 2 games, they've missed on this rotation after losing their tower, and it looks like they've got it this time.
Yeah.
They're going to make this mistake again. That's good.
So if Cephas can clear the wave here and not lose too much tower damage, Scatter is going to be there. Looks like Psychopez is rotating up 2.
Yeah.
Could potentially
Not
be...
immaculate. Yeah, it looks like maybe a foot right. So not exactly immaculate defense from Bronze 5H, just like overall so far in this game, but it's we said it already. It's already way better than the last 2 games. So, and I think they have a better team comp. So maybe get a closer game here. This is already a closer game for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely not at that point where like Mundo is not going to be able to do Mundo things. Like he's still going to be able to do Mundo things. Vel'Koz is still going to be able to do Vel'Koz things. The comp essentially remains the same composition they drafted it to be, just with slightly less gold, which is nowhere near the issues that they had in the first 2 games.
I'm curious why Cephas hasn't. He's running no boots right now. With Ninja Tabby being such a good efficient item choice here, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen that yet. But he does have Thornmail and Sunfire Cape.
Yeah,
so.
I wonder if he hit his power spike so perfectly that he just had enough gold to get the bombies and then the.
That's what it looks like.
And then the Sunfire and then the whatever that Thornmail part is.
It's still risky not having boots. Oh, maybe if I go on top.
Yeah, also resting with flip back to his team has to flash out. They get the ult. Oh, though Lone Sparrow's caught on the side. He's gonna get taken down. Nice ult by Psychopez to recognize that target and take him down. Now flashes forward, but doesn't quite have his team with him. A little bit late on the Super Mega Death Rocket.
Little bit of an maybe if I bottom lane here.
Yeah, we'll see if Cephas is able to chase with no boots.
Yeah, boots and phase, you're not gonna catch.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe a little overzealous by Psychopez there. I appreciate the aggression.
Yeah.
And Leona is capable of scoring kills in situations like that sometimes, so I definitely appreciate going for that. But
yeah,
and she doesn't need her flash. Like Leona doesn't need her flash. Oh, this could be a call, Nico.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Get a tower here.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that was Psychopez's call. You could see how they had the opportunity to protect the Mordekaiser, but he flashed out, and Psychopez said, hey, let's just go on this guy from the side. The Lone Sparrows was caught out, dropped the ult, got the stun, and was able to do that. So you can tell the difference between him playing a Morgana and then him playing an Alistar and a Leona. Like, he's very decisive, and I think he's a lot of the engage in the crucial shot calling for this team, and it showed right there.
Yeah, I think Psychopez, outside of these lanes that have just gone disaster, well, maybe if I
yeah, Cephas is going to have to pop that ult early, so he knows he's going to be in trouble. He has the flash, but he's going to use it there. Alien Roll flashes forward.
Also might be able to get here for this.
Yeah, neither of those last 2 vitals procced. Here we go, Alien Roll in trouble. Cephas going very low. Lightning's going to pick up the kill on that end. Can the team come in to survive? TP in. Here comes the Pop Blossom. Does land onto both members, and now the fight is turned. Psychopez goes into the backside. Does land ult on a 2. Here comes Scattercat. He's running down the autos, and this is overall a 2 for 1. But Bronze 5H are going to get this Reset City for Scattercat. He's coming down with the double kill. One more auto. Can he get it? And the Super Mega Death Rocket will pick it up. Triple kill in the end, and Bronze 5H get that mid-game fight that we know can swing the game for them oh so well.
I know it's not a Singe, but don't chase the Singe that far. And that's what happened there for Insignia. Maybe a little bit overconfident. Not getting punished for lack of boosts. Cephas.
Yeah.
With the bait of the century.
just this time. This time barely. It's the perfect situation.
So they got a they got a tower top, and they're going to get a bottom tower here. They're going to be in good position to take or contest this Infernal Drake. Jinx doesn't have her flash up. Jarvan does have flash ult up right now, so that's a bit of a dangerous spot. But looking a lot better for Bronze 5H. Good punch back.
Gold lead is more even than we've seen it in this entire series. Lone Sparrow's gold is not doubling Psychopez's, so baby steps.
What I want to see here is Bronze 5H not try to. I don't want them to be overconfident. They're in. To me, my understanding is they should be under no pressure in this game. They have superior scaling. They're under pressure right now with the split push. But
Yeah.
this is a spot that they could punt this game. Like, if this fight goes badly for them, you have a Jinx without flash, you have Jarvan with a flash ult. Just be real careful here. Don't take this fight. Just take the dragon and get out.
That's Infernal to Bronze 5 Age.
Good.
So top lane turret does go down, or the outer. I'm not sure if that was done already or if.
No, they just got it. So
just got it. Okay.
I do think, like, again, it's real. It feels bad losing the tower there, but, like, again, scaling is on your side. All you need to do is play the long game here. Slow things down to a crawl. Your late game is obscene.
Yeah.
With this team, so. And the damage on the tier 2 tower also.
Yeah, Nico, even with the AP build, that third auto just does crazy amounts of damage.
You're seeing already. Mundo doesn't even have any magic. He's he went Merc Treads. Interesting. That could be a dead Nico.
Yeah.
That could be a dead Nico.
Nice juke on the cleaver there, but the ultimate is popped there. The Tangle Barbs. And Cephas knows he's in trouble here. Does not have the flash, so he might just get taken down there. Trade on to Jarvan there. There's 3 men up here. Lightning is able to finally get the kill. Psychopez coming in. The rest of his team not there, so he's not going to chase for this one. But yeah, if any more members of Bronze 5 Age are there, that could be a turn and 3 kills onto Insignia.
Wow.
But
that was actually surprisingly close.
Yeah, very much.
You're gonna see again. We're seeing it already. Like this Mundo is going to be a problem later. Like it's not. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's going to be problematic. Fiora eventually, I think, will be able to 1v1 him, but that is a long way off.
Right, and keep in mind the way that Bronze 5 Age and Insignia have been playing this series. We have not seen the split push barely at all from these two top laners. So if you rule out that factor, then Mundo's just a much better team fighter, and so that's what the way Bronze 5 Age do want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Bronze 5 Age are. I mean, we're seeing it so far this game that or not Bronze, Insignia. I think Insignia are actively going to try to split push here. I don't think team fighting with a Fiora is your way to win, but maybe they disagree. Maybe they think ulting the Mordekaiser could be a problem. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how they approach it. Compositionally, like in theory, they should be splitting here. So we'll see how they approach it. Scattercat's flash almost back up. I'm calling a lot of attention to the Jinx and the Vel'Koz flashes because they're going to matter a lot when Jarvan has ultimate up.
Yeah.
So, in these fights, it almost feels like anytime Jinx has flash up and doesn't just get insta-pop, that they're just going to win the fight.
Right, because, I mean, you're looking at Lone Sparrow's build, and if he does not get a kill off of that or his team is not right behind him, they just turn and kill the Jarvan.
Pop.
Yeah.
Mundo's setting up, getting priority in the bottom lane. He's going to get that wave turned, shoving the other direction, then probably try to group for a fight.
Yeah, or we might see Aileron will go to match. Which
Bronze 5 Age need to be careful here. They're 4v5.
Yeah, here we go. The fight is starting. Also, Restif does get a big ult in the back line, diving in trouble here, but the Jarvan ult does land on both the carries. They're able to walk out. Neither of them die. Now the Fiora in the front line. Not sure if they want the TP. Comes in on the backside. Cephas is here with the TP in the back line. This is a 1-for-1 overall. Actually just dies off, so Insignia barely keep 2 members up.
That was looking like it was going to turn into the Jinx reset show for a while, but there was just a little bit too much distance to cover from the back end to the front end of that fight. So. Jinx flashed back up now. He didn't have it when the Jarvan ulted. Was able to live. Again, like these fights, anytime that flash is going to be like that was a fight where the Jinx didn't have flash up when you engaged it, and it still sort of went poorly. So things looking good for Bronze 5 Age in this game. Baron set up soon.
Cloud Track in a minute. That would be the 3rd for Insignia were they to secure that.
3rd Cloud Drake on a Volibear Fiora is actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
So. It's going to help Fiora hit her vitals a lot more and Volley to engage. Here. The next couple minutes is just going to be about setting up for Baron, I think. Everyone's going to farm their gold out, set up for Baron. Aileron Roll is going to have teleport advantage here. So I'm interested to see. I'm guessing he's going to shove this wave out recall head bottom and then have his team set up around Baron. If I'm Insignia, I'm actually trying to go for something. If I'm Insignia, I'm trying to go for like just force a Baron here. This game's not going to get better for you. Like unless you want to bank on the other team making crucial errors, this game doesn't get better for you.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of push ask the question now, because the longer this goes, the scaling is going to be in favor of Bronze 5 Age. So maybe they try to set this up now. Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Diving with his utility build is kind of keeping Cephas at bay, but the ultimate is coming out, and this is going to be really close. Cephas trying to find the real Nico, is able to lock on to diving, who lands the tangle barbs, but might just be dead, yeah. Forced into a corner with those minions, and as we look at the other side of the map, crucially Scattercat has hit his 3-item spike, did just buy that rapid fire cannon, so is an item above the solution. So Bronze 5 Age may want to group around this dragon because they do have diving down. Scatter trying to clear and answer top lane, but I feel like you'd much rather send the Mundo up there right now and then have Scatter walk down. But it doesn't look like these teams are putting too high priority on the dragon at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it, so let's see.
Hey, Chad is wondering if Cloud is only affects out of movement speed.
I'm pretty sure they changed that. I think it's all.
I thought they did too. I'm pretty sure that was one of the
I'm
big
actually
buffs to
looking.
Cloud.
I'm actually looking at that right now. That's
Okay.
what I'm looking at.
Because I remember Cloud started out only affecting.
Yeah, it was originally just combat damage, but I think, or it was just out of combat, but I think it's
Tuba looked it up as well, so it is in combat as well. So
yeah, I was gonna say it covers. It's everything now. So okay.
Good to know.
I was just double checking. I was like, I didn't want to misinform people.
Yeah,
I didn't want to misinform people. So it's just straight movement speed. So yeah, it will help the Fiora and the Volibear.
Yeah, Scatter needs to start heading down. His team is stacking around this pick. They might get onto Caitlyn Stark, who has to jump out on the Lucian. Gets pulled back in by the Mordekaiser, and Lifeform Disintegration Ray takes the kill.
You gotta be a little more respectful there.
Yeah, that's ADC walking
into Baron. Go Baron. There's no way you lose a fight without the Lucian there. He's the strongest member on this team. This doesn't make any sense. He's like Volley and Fiora are strong, but they're not going to be able to output the damage that you need in like a Baron contest.
They are going up to the Baron, but I think they might try and catch out Aileron roll up here. No, I think they are turning towards the Baron.
Yeah, just force the Baron.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and do it now. We have 11 seconds.
Force the Baron and then turn. You can turn. You don't even need to finish it.
Yeah, Fiora completed the recall. Aileron roll going to look to TP back in here. 3 seconds on Caitlyn Stark. There are 3 members here right now, and they just might be too late. This Might is there for Lightning. It does not make it in time as the Bronze 5 Age secure the Baron, but at what cost? Actually, no cost, it turns out, as they're going to get a kill here. Also rested fighting on the back line, and Lightning is going to go down in the end too, so a 2-for-1 overall. They win the fight and get the Baron. Awesome for Bronze 5 Age.
Yeah, really, really good play there. They saw 2 people in the bottom river trying to with the pink ward they had in the pixel bush. Easy, just an easy Baron call there.
Yeah.
And they killed it fast enough that the 50-50 wasn't even consideration. So.
Yeah, Aileron will try to get what he can by taking this bottom inner turret, but Cephas wants to chase, and
Cephas' ult is ticking. Maybe they were able to turn this once that is.
Yeah.
But looks like they're just gonna try to.
Yeah, they don't know where the rest of the. Actually, they kind of did know where the rest of the team is.
They know where 2 are.
Yeah.
Well, they know where 3 are with them.
It would have been risky to try and chase him back into his jungle either way, but. Cloud's still on the table, but now for the first time this series, Bronze 5 Age have a gold lead, if ever so slight.
This is a win. So they're split 2-2-1 right now, and this is a really, really dangerous spot. Like Scattercat and Cyclopus need to back off and just group up right now.
Yeah.
I think group mid, take the free tower in mid, and then maybe decide whether you want to go mid, bottom, or top, based on vision that you have.
Yeah. Drag is on the tables too.
Yeah. You want to make sure in these kind of situations. You want to make sure that you're not like getting lulled into a false sense of security, right? Because in a lot of times that's a spot for the enemy team to punch back. Like if you're caught as 2 and you just got the Baron buff and you're sleeping, they can just like engage on you, kill you, and all of a sudden like that kind of dulls your power play, right? Your Baron power play. So
exactly.
That could have gone bad there. I think it was a little bit risky for Scattercat and Cyclopus to be up that far, but they seemed like they heard me and just grouped up, so they didn't extend. So Cloud Drake's gonna go over to Bronze 5 Age, and looks like they're going to just push bottom.
They do have just a little bit of time left on this Baron, so they're going to maybe try and sneak out another inner turret with it. Vel'Koz may get caught mid. It looks like, Lone Sparrow's going in on that one. Colin comes out with Lucian. Yeah, and they're going to start the fight here. Lightning in trouble, does get pulled back by the Mordekaiser. Aileron roll now maybe a step a little bit too far forwards. Psychopez just gonna land short with that ultimate, and while Aileron roll gets out with his life, barely dodges that Jinx with Mega Death Rocket.
They should be able to get an inhibitor here. They're gonna trade it for 2 inner towers, but they're gonna be able to get an inhibitor here.
Yeah, Lone Sparrows and Caitlyn Stark still mid as well as diving top, and yeah, and they may not even lose. I think they're probably gonna lose those inner turrets. They might try for the end here if they're gonna stay.
They base rates here?
Lightning, no access to the ultimate. They're hammering those turrets. Here comes also rest of support from the backside. The fight is going crazy. Aileron roll will get the kill on the back end, but is he gonna die? He is gonna die. So, meanwhile, the members from Insignia have recalled. Ooh, and now Braun 5H is in trouble. Alston Restif goes down. Scattercut on the backside, not able to auto-attack. Psychopat's gonna go down as well, and Scattercat might fall here. Does trade a kill with a big crit onto diving, but wow.
Okay, so they lost 2 inners. They didn't lose inhibitors or anything like that. They got the bot inhibitor. That's still a trade up for Bronze 5Age. I don't think it was, or a trade up for. It's a favorable exchange for Bronze 5Age. They got the inhibitor. Maybe a little sloppy on the back end, but I kind of appreciate forcing them to get back instead of maybe trying to recall and you lose the inhibitor anyway. But I think they could have taken the inhibitor and backed and wouldn't have lost anything. They would have been with the Baron recall. They definitely could have got back and not lost anything. So maybe a little over aggressive there, but still not in a bad spot for Bronze 5Age. Yeah. I just think spots like this where you have better scaling, you don't want to give the other team any kind of window, and that was potentially a window to give them anything. So maybe I think recalling is probably the better play. I didn't see I think they still had the Baron buff. They could have recalled after the inhibitor, right? I wasn't missing that. Yeah, because they were Baron mains on that. On that Nexus Tower. Okay. Yeah. They did get a Nexus Tower. That's that's something.
Yeah, I feel like, but what's at the point where you get one? What's what's the good in that? If you're gonna revisit that maybe on a split push, yeah. But I feel like if you're not gonna actually end the game, you might as well recall, because what's the good of having one Nexus turret other than the tiny bit of gold that it gives?
Yeah, we have confirmation on the Cloud Drake, so it triples when out of combat, but you still get movement speed while in combat.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I know they changed it at some point, but there's neither here nor there. So Bronze 5Age looking to group up mid here, try to force the issue before this split push ends up being a factor. You're gonna end up seeing the wave clear be an issue here.
Yeah,
like it's basically culling or bust a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it is likely we'll see this mid inner go down, because Insignia is doing a 1-3-1 at the moment. Caitlyn has access to the ultimate.
Insignia are in an interesting spot where I think instead of trying to defend a siege, I think the best thing that they could do is start a fake fight. You know what I'm saying? Start a fight to kind of distract the attention and maybe get something going, or maybe to get an eco flank going. It looks like they have a flank advantage here. They could go 4v5.
Diving looking to go. Pop Blossom just going to land on the Mordekaiser, whose life may be forfeit here. Is he able to get off his ultimate? But no, he just turns it, and he kills the Nico. Meanwhile, in the back line, the Jarvan does land the Cataclysm, but it is a 2-for-2 overall. Here comes the Lucian, though. There's 2 members left on each team. Triple kill for him. He's going crazy. Cephas in the back line, not able to do much without the help of Psychopez. He's very low, and holy cow, this Lucian going crazy.
He's got a red buff. You're going to be able to chase this down, I think.
Yeah, Cephas' ult is going to be wearing off, and there it goes. And he is just going to get taken down, and that's the 4th kill of the fight for Lucian. And that
Aileron and Lightning picked out Scattercat in that fight, punishing him without the flash down, and that's why that fight went so badly. So the Jinx did not get a lot done in this fight with the flash down. Are you going to be able to get an inhibitor off this? I think he is. Maybe not.
Yeah, Mordekaiser up in 5 seconds here. If Psychopez does enough distraction here, Caitlyn Stark's going to ignore him, but Mordekaiser is up now. So yeah, Zenith Blade lands. He will get the stun, drops the ignites, and he does save the inhibitor here. May even go for the kill, just land another stun. Zenith Blade again.
Nice effort.
Psychopez is rattling off these skills, but don't think...
Blue plus red is real tough. Ooh. Blue tough red's real tough to chase Lucian down. They should go Baron here.
Yeah.
Lucian's jumping out.
Elder is also on the table. That has just spawned now, so I think that will be the call here. They see the Fiora top, but they have to know she has TP. Meanwhile, the rest of Insignia is rotating down here, so they're going to start it up.
Still no flash on
down here.
That in mind.
Caitlyn Stark is healing up on the side. Here comes Lone Sparrows. He's going to go in. They need to focus the Jarvan. The dunk shadow very low. Pops the barrier. Big Pop Blossom is going to land onto 2 members. This fight is so close, but it looks like Insignia is going to start to clean it up. Meanwhile, 2 kills come back. Cephas is going to go down with that Fiora ultimate. Alston Restip will be taken down as well, and that fight has gone in favor of Insignia. They take out 4, lose only 2, and are going to grab that Elder Dragon and likely transition this into the Baron, or at least an him.
So, a lot going on in that fight. So, Scattercat didn't have his flash up. Shadow did. Lone Sparrows ults the Vel'Koz that had his flash up, not the Jinx. He had the option there. He could have chose either. Chose to ult the Vel'Koz that had flash. Flashes out, gets a good channel on the Vel'Koz ult, but Scattercat was kind of trapped in the river from that point forward. And they just kind of like gunned him down because the rest of the team wasn't in position to play frontline for him. So, I don't want to say poor positioning, but just like good decisive call from Insignia there, knowing that, again, this game's not going to get better for them, so force the issue. I think on the side of Bronze 5Age, you need to be cognizant of where when you back off of an objective. Oh, dang, close.
Good smite.
When you back off of an objective like that, it's really, you need to make sure that everyone's on the same page where to go, because it was a split call. Like, you had some people backing up through like the one ramp and the other 2 going on the other ramp, and it was a split call, and then ended up leaving your Jinx out to dry.
Yeah.
Without a flash, and that's why anytime the Jinx dies in these fights, it's just going to go south.
Yeah.
Like, Jinx needs to live through these fights. And Insignia are doing a good job making that really difficult for Scattercat, but anytime she lives, the fight's just going to go in favor of Bronze 5Age. So, does have her flash back up. Elder and Dragon, they're going to have to wait this out.
Yeah. Jinx has purchased Guardian Angel since that fight, so you have that. Whether or not it matters is going to be important, as if she dies in a poor position, it's just irrelevant. She's going to postpone her death. But yeah, you're right. They're going to have to play very passive, ward up their jungle, make sure to spot the rotations, and not die outside of their turrets.
Yeah, I think all of a sudden you had a game that was, borderline unlosable. One mistake like that. Insignia, all night long, Insignia have been punishing mistakes like crazy. Doing it again here, so Bronze 5Age is going to have to just play defense here. You got not too much longer on the Elder buff. First Elder buff does not last nearly as long as subsequent ones, so
yeah,
looking like that's already expired, right?
Yeah, I'm
still
trying to figure out how much time is left on that, but
yeah, my thing was like not showing.
Yeah, mine keeps glitching.
It just shows the icon. It's I see the Baron timer, but I don't see. Okay, so kind of weird that they're grouping as 5 now. There goes Nico. Now they're splitting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. I was gonna say, this is maybe not the smartest thing. You have a Baron buff and a 1-3-1 comp to split off. Let's see if Bronze 5Age can defend here. Not a lot of forward vision, but with the Baron buff, you don't necessarily need to worry about that too much. You're just worried about holding your structures here. Okay, Lucian, both AD carries at full build now.
Yeah, tough for Cephas to deal with these Baron up minions as a melee champion against range. Scattercat critting down Aileron roll, so Bronze 5Age able to defend their top side with relative ease, but Diving doing a great job. Psychopez wants to fight.
Nice dodge on the
Oh, that's a big crit. He just takes down the Jarvan.
Whew.
Scattercat rolling off those
like
autos.
a 3-shot?
Yeah, something
like a 3-shot.
that.
Wow. Okay.
I think
they need to be careful. They did lose Inhibitor for that. So Jinx can catch more of this farm, but she's already fulfilled.
So I think that'll be all Insignia gets from this push.
Yeah, so not the worst. Things could have been worse there. So they lose an inhibitor, but mid inhibitor is the one that you want to lose if you lose one. So the reason for that being that you can shove out mid lane and get to any place on the map easier than shoving out bottom lane or top lane, so an outer lane. So there's less distance to cover to anywhere you need to get. It looks like they might try to force a fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Lucian and Nico were hovering pretty close to that turret, so Bronze 5Age actually in there looking for a pick, but Colin comes down, and just a couple more autos. They catch Bronze 5Age rotating away and are able to get that turret. So now that's another exposed inhibitor, which is big in the bot lane. Most important inhibitor with the Baron. Being on the table.
I'm saying they got a Insignia looked like they were overextending the tad there, but they're being pretty smart about this.
Yeah.
Oh,
I formed Disintegration Ray.
Oh my god, so much damage. He's going to be able to lifesteal up on jungle creeps and just come right back, though.
Yeah. Okay, so Elder on the board in a minute and 15 seconds. That's going to be the second Elder Dragon, which is significantly stronger.
That's going to be the next fight, I think. So the problem we're going to run into here is, like, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to deal with this Fiora. All the Fiora needs to do is just sit at the top.
Caitlyn Stark raining down crits, and sorry to interrupt, but Alston Restive has to take a quick trip to the fountain to recharge his health pool after that one.
Yeah, Mordekaiser, interestingly, so he builds a lot of health and usually can index into like some amount of magic resistant armor, but he is just a ball of hit points. Like he's not a real tank, he's a bruiser, so when these 80 carries are full build like that, even on a Lucian, he's going to be hitting like a truck.
Yeah, Caitlyn Stark not only with the crit building, but also the Blade of the Ruin King to chunk some of that health. Just kind of
we're going to be putting in extra work against Mundo and Vel'Koz, or not Vel'Koz, Mundo and Mordekaiser here.
Yeah,
so
his guns are literally two-edged swords. So. Oh, looks like they might have the pick here, but Flash out of, or actually, I'm sorry, that was just the heal out of Caitlyn Stark, taking himself out of there with the dash. Yeah. Okay, but here's the Infernal, 6 seconds. I'm sorry, the Elder, yes.
Alaron will stay top. He does have his teleport. This is a good spot. So I'm gonna be. They need to. I think they want to bait this fight and buy time for Alaron Roll. Here's the teleport. Teleport coming in.
Yeah, Psycho has no access to the Solar Flare, but the Lifelorn Disintegration Ray will murder two of them. Aileron Roll in the back line is going to be able to get the flank up, but they've traded onto the Fiora. She's dead now. Scattercat is going crazy in these fights. Mundo gets the kill. Big Pop Blossom onto 3, but is it enough? The Vel'Koz gets taken down on the backside. So does the Lucian, but no. The double kill from Scattercat, and like you said, Scattercat stays alive. Bronze 5 Age wins.
It's that simple. They're going to be able to get Elder here. They're probably going to be able to recall clear these mid-inhibitor minions, or mid-minions all the way up through, go to the Baron, and that's going to be, I think, how this goes.
Yeah.
Jeez. So Insignia, I think what Insignia wanted to do there was maybe, like, make a pick and then, like, make a long fight for Alaron Roll, but as soon as they realized there was all 5 people there, and that fight was just happening, I think they should have played that slower. I think they went a little too hard. They should have started the Dragon and then, like, pulled them out into the river so that Alaron Roll had time.
Yeah,
to set up some pressure, but there was no pressure on the top lane turret. The wave like just got there is just now getting there. Or it's bouncing back now. The wave's just now getting there. He had to teleport into that fight right away. Not ideal circumstances. Did have a flank, like good teleport, but it took him so long to get from this ward in the blue pit all the way around to get into the fight that he didn't get enough done. And again, we see the thing, if you're 5v5ing, teleporting late into a fight and 5v5ing, not exactly where we want to be. And if Jinx lives, they're going to win these fights. So I think Insignia got a little too ahead of themselves there. I think they would have been better off either starting the Dragon and then, like, trying to kite that out to buy time for Alaron Roll. Instead, that fight happens straight up. And anytime a straight up fight happens, it's going to go in favor of Bronze 5 Age.
Yeah, you saw them kind of sitting behind the wall trying to bait out a few members from Bronze 5 Age to walk in there. But all 5 of them walked in there, and Insignia thought to themselves, we hadn't thought this far through this play. And, all of a sudden, it was a team fight.
I think that they had awards. They knew it was 5 people. Like, there was a ward. Maybe there wasn't. I'm trying to think because all the vision's clear right now. But there was a ward.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, you're right. It takes just that long for the Fiora to get in there with the teleport. And even then, the flank is not even that effective.
Oh, so they didn't. All right, so I just went back and looked at it. They did not know it was 5. There was a pink blotting out both wards. Yeah. So they could have assumed maybe, but did not know. Okay, so Bronze 5 Age in a good place here. They have the Elder. They're going to try to set up for the Baron.
Ooh, super mega death rocket. Lone Sparrow's almost found himself on the end of
here.
Jarvan, I think, going to have to go back to base and recall, and this could be the go button from Bronze 5 Age, although they might need something else to start with.
Nico is set up for a flank. I'm interested to see if they're just going to try to...
Yeah, and crucially, this green ward here in the front of the pit is not quite spotted by the pink in the back, so Insignia will have full vision of this Baron this entire time, but it's just gone down too fast. Here comes the fight, though. Pop Blossom lands onto 4 people. This could be a huge fight. Lifeform Disintegration Ray in the backline. The Jarvan now gets in there, knocks him up. Scattercat is going so low. He's got the Guardian Angel. It's popped. Oh, that's 3 members down. Bronze 5 Age are winning this fight. Scattercat is still alive. Lightning is going to be the last of the tanks to burn down. Alien Roll, the only one to survive. He's going to have the GA. Does get the kill in the backline. Scattercat is going mid, though. He's going to commit to the end, and it looks like Alien Roll is going to expire. And Wow, big fight from Bronze 5H. Insignia did a much better job this fight of getting to the 80 carry, but so much damage to those tanks. And Scattercat able to kite this one out, and
this should be the game. So we saw it. I mean, the last two fights, Scattercat lived and they won the fight. It's that it was that simple, you know. Like so, there were a couple fights in the mid game there where that was not the case. Again, Insignia playing with good leverage, but Insignia 2-4 down in this game, so looks like we're going to get a game 4 here.
Yeah, we are on to game 4. Bronze 5H stave off elimination by taking game number 3, and we will move on in this series as the clock has struck midnight 11 minutes ago, but we're gamers, and midnight is where we shine. Yeah, so we'll be all right as we move on into game 5. I'm going to take a quick break, send this thing to another quick intermission, our third of maybe 4. We'll see. But
I'm gonna refill a drink.
Sounds good. All right,
be good to go.
Chat. We'll meet you guys back here in a few. It's gonna be an exciting series that is nowhere near over.
I'll be right back when we hit the bathroom. And
Alrighty, guys. We're back for game number 4 between Bronze 5 Age and Insignia in the DEMACIAN Grand Finals. Insignia up 2-0. Not going to have their sweep as Bronze 5 Age cinch up and bring us the first win for them of the series, taking this series to 4 games, and we may even see 5 if Bronze 5 Age is able to stick it out and win one more. Getting pretty late, but games are only going to get more fun and more intense as I'm joined by Gelati here on the cast. Big things from game 3 that you noticed that were different from Bronze 5 Age in those first 2 games.
Bronze 5 Age did a much better job of understanding their win condition in this game. They didn't get ahead of themselves. It wasn't perfect, but they did a much better job of understanding that they didn't let the game get away from them. They played much better defense this game. Like I said, wasn't perfect by any stretch, but they did a much better job of losing gracefully early in the game when Insignia started taking leads. They understood their win condition. They understood that if the game got to late game, they just could not lose with the Jinx as long as she lived in a fight. And it took a little bit of time. A couple mistakes were made, but for the most part, they understood the big picture and they were able to close the game out from that.
Yeah. So we are now swapping over to game 4. So Insignia is going to be on the red side. We have Bronze 5 Age back on the blue side as we transition this into the pick bands. Let's see, I think they gave us the links. Let's see if we can pop these up on our screen here. Looks like the draft has not started yet, but we will put that on pretty soon here. Hopefully my lobby doesn't bug again.
I'm trying to get the word out while we're waiting for this to start up.
Oh, yeah.
Tell your friends, tell your family, get out on the Twitters, the Instagrams, get on the gram as the kids call it, right?
The gram? I do not know. I'm not a kid. The gram. I like that. The cord.
The only grams I knew were golden grams, man. Let's see. Glad we got the confirmation on the Cloud Drake there. Is this the... Okay, I gotta click on the new lobby. 1 second. I think that... They didn't start up yet, right? Okay, we're
correct.
We're good. We're good. We're good. We're all out of sorts, but we're Gucci.
That's right.
All right, so... if I'm Bronze 5 Age, that worked really well for me. We said it after the first game that they just need to slow things down. If this is the approach that they want to take, they just need to take it easy, not get into all the skirmishing and fighting that Insignia are really, really good at. And I think they want to pick lanes that can wave clear or at least like hold neutral priority, even if it's not like they want to be able to hold neutral and not just get shoved in, right?
Yeah.
I liked the adjustment to the Jinx Leona. I know they gave up level 2. There's some micro problems that Bronze 5 Age are having, right? Giving free level 2 to the Jarvan Lucian lane. They should have just hit 2 at the same time, or they should have been bullying it around. The level 2 cheese in game 2, the really weird level 1 setup in game 1. If they don't let these things happen and they want to play the scaling game, I think that's a good win condition for them. They just need to set themselves up for that in the draft, right?
Yeah.
I want to see them, again, pick lanes that can hold their own. They're not just going to get shoved into oblivion so that... is this a substitution?
Yeah, so, I was going to point that out. So, Lightning, past his bedtime.
Okay.
Well, I don't actually know if that's what it is, but
okay.
Anyhow, Goiner is the mid laner from Noctua, so he's going to be playing jungle for Team Insignia. So this is a substitution that was approved beforehand. So.
Okay, I'm gonna just quick take a look into Goiner's
history,
see what he plays, because he kind of looks like a multi-role player. Trying to look back. Trying to see what we've got here. Looks like some Oriana games, but not a whole lot doing here.
Yeah.
Taking a look at his
Shadow remarks in the chat, says he's got a good personality. He seems nice. So if you would incorporate that analysis into your
News
LP.GG,
analysis
yes,
there. Here we go. So
please.
is personality rating, is that like an 87? That's pretty solid. Okay.
How many CS per minute is that an equivalent to it?
That I'm not sure of. I'd have to get up to date on my conversions or
Yeah.
whatever.
We are into picks and bans, guys. Bronze 5H banning the Vayne, as they have done for the first 3 games. They'll lead off with that ban. Insignia, again, are going to lose their first 3 bans. So Bronze 5H will not be banning the Nunu, of course, since Lightning is not in this game. So they're going to have to... So we'll see how they adapt in the pick ban for
Might
that
be able to
second
take out
ban.
another support.
Yeah.
Lone Sparrow has been the all-star in these games, I think.
He
Like
has.
of the 10 players, well, 11 now, but
Yeah.
of the 10 players we've seen so far, Lone Sparrow has been he's been the outstanding
MVP?
Yeah, he'd be the MVP of the series so far.
Yeah.
There's the Pike ban. Pike second makes me think they're going to do another support, Vel'Koz or Xerath maybe in the first round. They can shift their Xerath ban to the first round now because they've been using it in the second round. They did that in game 1. There was the Xerath ban in the first. You said it was the first.
It was third ban first phase.
Yes.
Second and third game it was in the second phase, and yeah, we do see the Xerath ban. So we'll see if Insignia early pick a support here. They still do have Thresh. Yeah, I think Thresh is his top play champion that's still available.
Yeah, I think you can expect the Thresh here. Coincidentally, Thresh quite good against Leona. So Psychopez might need to look at maybe Alistair or Braum. He played the Morgana in game 1. Did not look too comfortable on it, but if he wants to give that another go, I don't dislike that. We saw Insignia ban it this with their last ban in the last draft.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, clearly they had respect for the pick. It is going to be a Vel'Koz hover, and I would not be surprised if it's the luck. Shadow knows that he's not going to be facing any crazy counters or doesn't fear any counters in the mid lane, so he's good to blind pick that one. Not only was it a takeaway from Lone Sparrows, who did put in work on that champion in game 2, but it's one of Shadow's better mids, so going to see that first.
Yeah, Shadow. Bronze 5H basically this serves 3 purposes. Oh, I was just going to talk about this. I was going to say this. So what I was going to say was, this Vel'Koz pick serves 3 purposes. 1, it's a takeaway from Lone Sparrows. 2, it's a comfort pick for Shadow. And 3, it poses a question immediately, which is, do you have a counter pick prepared?
Yeah.
And we hadn't seen it from Diving yet, but it looks like they're going to give the Fizz a go.
Yeah.
First pick Fizz. So Fizz is a really, really interesting character. Obviously, tremendous upside. Can split push, can team fight, can do it all. The one thing he can't do is wave clear. So if he doesn't get ahead, or if you end up just sieging against him, Insignia are going to be forced to fight, which is admittedly what they've been doing anyway.
Yeah.
But I actually like it's really aggressive to take it this early and show it this early, because now Bronze 5H can kind of pick accordingly. Maybe pick a more protective support so that the carries just don't get popped by the Fizz here. Maybe Alistair or Lulu, something along those lines, like something that can play bodyguard.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit aggressive showing it this early, but it's also going to give Insignia a lot of leverage in the second half of this draft to counterpick top lane or the bot lane now that we've seen it. So
yeah. While we do have the Trundle as a counter pick into Sejuani, not quite as great in the 2v2 necessarily. I do think Sejuani was the right choice for Insignia to pair with this Fizz, because you do have the tools to lock down this Vel'Koz in not just the 1v1, but you can actually set the Fizz up to get those kills. And I don't think that Vel'Koz and Trundle, unless the fight goes crazy, have an advantage there. So
that's
hyper
real.
carry.
That's a Twitch.
Yep. We're going to see Twitch likely. Actually, no. Since the Sejuani is locked in, yeah, it's definitely going to be ADC. So Caitlyn Stark going to get his hands on that one, something he has not
don't
picked.
rule out top lane Sejuani, by the way. I'm just saying. Or support Sejuani. But
yeah, man.
Likely Twitch AD carry. Man, Insignia pulling out all sorts of stops here. Lots to unpack. So Sejuani ult into Twitch ultimate's really, really potent. I'm looking for an Orianna ban from Bronze 5H here, because that's the one champ that I've seen. Sojourner's playing jungle. Never mind. That is like they're in order, correct? Goyner is going to be playing jungle, correct?
In the client, yes.
Okay, yeah. So he's replacing Lightning, so he's playing jungle. All right,
yep.
I was looking. I'm all out of whack. Never mind. Mundo and Mordekaiser ban for Insignia. Wondering what this last band's
Yeah,
gonna
the
be.
top jungle combo from Bronze 5 Age's win last game there. So they have the Thresh band. They could throw more and more at support. The top laner's still left to pick. So there's
I like the Nautilus band here too.
Yeah.
Nautilus plus Sejuani, like any kind, or no, like Twitch with any kind of engaged support is really, really potent. Plus Nautilus is really, really good against like Jinx and Vel'Koz both. So.
Yeah. Insignia get their hands on the Cho'Gath here. So we saw Cho'Gath Sejuani as their top jungle combo in game 1. We're going to see that again here. Now with a very potent hyper carry and a mobile assassin, the composition is forming. Leona is going to be hovered as the answer for Psycho Pez. And he's
Leona
lock
pretty
that
good
in.
against Twitch. Also a decent bodyguard against Fizz, not the greatest, but it's okay. You're able to just ult and not die. You can ult the Twitch, and then use the rest of your CC on the Fizz. Is this going to be the TK top? Yes, it is. All right.
Yep.
So Tom Ken's top, really, really potent against tanks, but Cho'Gath not gonna be an easy target to kill.
Right.
The other thing with Tom Ken's top is that it facilitates ganks surprisingly well with the slow, especially against someone that doesn't have a lot of mobility. So if you just like land a tongue lash on Cho'Gath, it's really easy to gank him.
Yeah, and
So,
with the Trundle subjugate, they can whittle him into a non-tanky ball. But the Galio is locked in as the support. This is going to be Lone Sparrows here taking this pick with the Twitch. And they've got quite a power punch with their CC if Sejuani is to come bot.
So big front line from Insignia, which makes sense for the Twitch. Typically, when you play Twitch, you want to have a front line so that everything is in front of you, so that your spray and pray is more effective. You're hitting more targets, and because he can't really protect himself, he wants to be able to just like unleash a big amount of damage. Galio support, it's not as potent as it was earlier this year. Got nerfed a couple months ago. It's still okay. It's still playable. You're seeing it in regions like Korea and China where they're still playing it. It's not a priority pick, but certain players favor it. With Lone Sparrows, with the Vel'Koz taken away and the Xerath taken away and the rest of his pool pinched, it doesn't surprise me to see him on something like this.
Yeah.
But I do actually, and it's not bad against other tank supports, which is the other aspect. It struggles with stuff like Yuumi or any kind of like mage support, but it does tell them they can start. But it does do pretty well into other tanks like Alistar and Braum and Leona and stuff like that. So interesting here. There's a lot to unpack with this draft. Big front line for Twitch is really, really good. You're going to have Fizz disrupting the back line. Typically, when you have a big front line with a Twitch, you see 2 hyper carries. You see like an Orianna or an Azir or a Cassiopeia or like a mid laner that's like a control mage, Victor. Somebody that can hang with the Twitch and play front to back. You don't usually see this with the fit. You don't usually see Twitch with an assassin.
Yeah.
And like with big frontline comps. So that's kind of interesting. But the one thing I will say is Twitch is surprisingly good against other hyper carries because if he's just able to unload in a fight, he's just going to output more damage than the other carry is in most situations. Like if you just put these two teams against each other straight up 5v5, like with the tanks in place as like an offensive line situation, Twitch is going to win almost every single time against even stuff like Sivir, Jinx, Kog'Maw, even like these other AoE hyper carries. He's going to win most of the time just because Spray and Pray is so powerful.
Yeah.
And it gives him enough range that he can actually safely, a lot of times he's going to be hitting the Jinx with this damage. So I actually like the Twitch pick into other hypercarry compositions, and I think it was a nice adaptation from Insignia here. The one thing that's going to be another thing that's going to be interesting is that this is a much different look from Insignia, right?
Yes. They normally don't have this cohesive, easy to execute, staple team fight composition. They're normally we're normally spending this time trying to figure out exactly what they want to do. Yeah, and they're typically like the first 3 games they've been all about playing around priority, right? They've been all about shoving lanes. This time it's going to be a little bit different. There's a good chance Fizz is going to either be neutral or pushed out eventually. It takes some time. The Vel'Koz Fizz matchups is a really tough one for Vel'Koz, but can be outplayed. Tom Kench, Cho'Gath should be able to shove on Tom Kench, but the bot lane to me is a wash also. So they're not going to have the 2 winning lanes like they've had, or they're going to have the 2 like auto like free shoving lanes that they've had in the last 3 games. So it's going to be interesting seeing them play 1 a more straight up composition and 2 one that's less focused on
priority play.
One thing I want to see in this bot lane, and you mentioned it briefly last time, is last game because it was relevant, is the priority on getting level 2 from Bronze 5H. I want to see the Jinx take those rockets, whittle down the wave, and get level 2, because if you let Insignia get an Ignite Galio with taunt and Q, hit level 2, and Twitch has the expunge, they could delete a target just like they did last game. So I want to see Bronze 5H either be respectful of the level 2 when it comes out, or actually play to get it themselves. So
Twitch's level 1 trading is actually surprisingly good with the expunge, so you do need to be a little bit respectful, but they should be able to. They need to not get beat to 2 as bad as they did. They just basically surrendered 2 last game. You can't do that. So if they can get early level 1 trade or just beat them to 2, I think they're going to be in a much better place. But the Flash Galio tone is a good way to facilitate ganks here, so it's going to be. I'm wondering if Scattercat maybe takes cleanse. It's like certainly a possibility against this team, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see when he locks his champion in the client draft. One thing to know, Fizz does have the teleport, so diving playing a more team fight oriented.
Got Oriana on the mind.
Yeah, a team fight oriented playstyle with the Fizz. Not going for that all-in ignite for the lane, but hoping to get in a side lane as we transition in the mid game and affect the map from there. So Scattercat's about to pick. We'll see if he does take that cleanse. Vel'Koz with the barrier.
It looks like he's switching to ignite, maybe.
Oh, he did just switch to ignite.
I do think so. The Fizz taking teleport could if he ends up doing that, it could say that you're looking to split push. It could also say that you're just going to try to get your wave reset so it doesn't get frozen on you.
Yeah.
Because eventually it does get to a point where, like, as good as Fizz is against Vel'Koz, it gets to a point where Vel'Koz just like WW kills the wave and then just like walks away, and there's not a whole lot you can do there unless you're really far ahead and you can dive him. But it does get to a point where that's the case. So I can understand the teleport, just like reset the wave, teleport, get back, keep pressure up, maybe roam bottom.
Yeah.
But we'll see if he actually sticks with that. He might switch back to ignite. We'll see. Yeah, I like both these team comps. They're both pretty. I'd say they're like, this is there's like a classic 2 core on the side of Bronze 5 Age, and then like kind of an augmented one with an assassin on the side of Insignia. But, I mean, for how bloody these games have been early in the game with all the skirmishing going on, Bronze 5 Age, the Fizz is really, really going to test their discipline, right?
Yeah.
Because if Fizz is so good in those kind of like ragtag 2-2 and 3v3 skirmishes, and he can get out of control so easily. So Bronze 5 Age are going to have to show a lot more discipline than they showed in their first 3 games in this game. But And the good thing for Insignia is they're going to have the scaling, unlike last game where they just got outscaled. So they do have a backup plan.
Yeah.
I actually think I like Insignia's comp a little bit more here. I don't normally like an assassin plus hyper carry with 3 frontliners like this. I typically like to see a control mage or another hyper carry in the mid lane.
Yeah.
But I think this could work out for them. I like their comp a lot
For me, the Fizz is just another tool to distract from the Twitch in these fights, is what I see. And you may have alluded to this earlier, but looking at Bronze 5 Age, none of their players want to rush forward and dive at all. Like maybe Leona, but likely, like you said as well, he's going to be playing bodyguard to this Jinx. And when you have a Bronze 5 Age comp that's like pulling back in these fights and trying to kite it out and play it front to back while running away from the tanks that are just the meatballs that are running towards you, if Fizz is flanking from the side, that adds one more thing on their mind that these carries have to think about, and suddenly everybody's forgotten about the Twitch. When you have a Galio diving with a Sejuani and a Cho'Gath and then Fizz coming in from the side, like, you don't even think about Twitch at that point, and he has the opportunity to completely unload. So
it's also, Fizz is also really, really good at buying time, even if he's not scoring kills. Like, he can just be a distraction. So it's going to be really, really difficult for Bronze 5 Age to get resets for this Jinx.
Yeah.
And when Jinx isn't getting resets, if the Twitch just blows somebody up or just if the Twitch just does half the health of everybody on the team, he's done his job. Like, he doesn't need to do anything else, because then Fizz is just going to clean up.
Yeah, and you see it all the time in solo queue where a Fizz will go in, troll pull there, and everybody's just standing around awkwardly waiting for him to get down. He lands, and then Sonya's again, and then everybody's standing around for 4 seconds. And what's Twitch doing then? You bet your ass he's auto-attacking that entire time. So it's...
That's why, like, I normally don't like these, but Fizz, in this specific case, I actually think Fizz is one of the champions that is really, really good at this kind of thing. Fizz, you can see, like, some of the bruiser mids like Mordekaiser or Irelia are really good at this kind of thing too, where, like, they do enough, right? where it's might not necessarily be as like cut and dry. It's kind of ugly sometimes, but they do enough where, like, I'm just looking at Bronze 5's age, or not. I'm looking at Insignia's team comp. Like, they actually, I think, have the ease of execution in this case. The Fizz is going to be tricky to play. Twitch can be tricky to play, but I think like they just Sejuani ult, Cho'Gath knock up, unload on somebody, and then that's it, right? Like, there's enough damage output, even without a reset, that they just pop one person, probably do like, you know, a third of everyone else's health with the Twitch AoE, and then Fizz just cleans it up from there. So Twitch not exactly the greatest at cleaning up. What Twitch is really good at is just like laying down a whole bunch of damage. Twitch I always compare here. I'm a resident Karthus player here, people, but Twitch I always compare. He's like the Karthus of bot lane. He's just gonna put a bunch of damage down, and then your team just has to clean it up.
Yeah,
that's what he's good at. Whether it's jungle, AD carry, whatever. And Fizz is a good cleanup champion. That's a good, you know, Fizz, Katarina, stuff like that. They're good cleanup champions. So I actually. I think for the first time, like, Insignia's comp a bit more in this game, which is kind of weird for me to say because I normally love a classic 2-core, but we'll see. I do like the Trundle plus the Trundle ult, just kill somebody with Jinx, get the reset factor. Yeah. That's always a powerful thing, but I think this Fizz, unless Bronze 5 are going to, like I said earlier, they're going to have to be really, really disciplined in this game, or this could get out of hand. And they haven't been so far. They were a little better. They were a lot better last game. They're going to have to play a game more like last game. Otherwise, this Fizz could just get completely out of hand.
Yeah. We are in the loading screen, about to get onto the Rift for Game 4. No unique keystones that I'm seeing. Both top laners with Grasp, both supports with the Aftershock. And Diving holding on to that TP in the mid lane, so he's going to take that on the Fizz, and both supports with Ignite. So expect things to be focused around bottom lane like they have been this entire series. So
pretty much top lane has just been an island for the most part. So let's see here.
About to load on. We've seen, I think Game 3 was the only game we did not see anything crazy happen level 1. So
yeah, I think Bronze 5 were tired of getting cheese level 1 by all sorts of stuff. So I would have guessed that we're going to see something similar. I don't think the level 1's too potent on either side. Potentially, Bronze 5 with the Cho'Gath knock-up is actually pretty potent. Cho'Gath knock-up into Galio Taunt or Galio Q could be really, really good. I would guess we're probably going to see
yeah, we are going to see the fan.
Yeah. So thinking early in this game, I think top side's going to be able to get a shove in for A-line roll. He should be able to hold priority, but he's also really susceptible to ganks from red side as Cho'Gath with no escape against the Tahm Kench.
Yeah.
So you don't normally want to get a Tahm Kench ahead. He's not necessarily like a champion you think, oh man, we got to get that guy ahead, right?
Yeah.
But there's a really good chance that they could just abuse top lane in this game and kind of mix it up instead of just focusing bottom side. But Scattercat and Psychopeds are going to have to be a lot more careful than they've been in the first 3 games if that's going to happen. So.
And you mentioned the volatility of top lane not being something that jungler would want to capitalize on. But if Cephas is up there auto-attacking and slowing, and the Trundle just puts up his pillar, that's instantly a flash or a death.
Cho'Gath can't get away from that.
Yeah.
So and then even post 6, like Trundle has the ultimate to kind of cut Cho'Gath's resistances down. So
if the kills are there, you want to take them and make your Tahm Kench as beefy as possible. So despite being not a volatile lane, that you need to get ahead one way or the other. If Alston Restip doesn't find opportunities elsewhere, you could see him in that top lane for the first time this series.
Well, what's interesting too is think about how that plays out in a game, right? If they're just constantly camping top lane, even let's say like the bot towers go down or something, or bot tower goes down and Insignia are trying to rotate and get the rest like other towers to mid lane or something like that, right? If you just keep abusing this Cho'Gath in his whole lane, they don't ever let him group. The siege isn't exactly potent on the side of Insignia, right? Yeah. Twitch is relatively low range when he's not ulting. Fizz is not going to be able to hit a tower. The wave clear with Jinx and Vel'Koz is excellent. Oh, we got the level 1 cheese here from Tahm Kench.
Oh, it does land that Q for the stun, and Mako went for those autos. Aileron Rule has to flash early on, and
level 1 Tahm Kench is so disgusting.
Yeah.
I think that you got to have some experience in this lane. If you haven't played against it, that's like rule number 1. You just like can't trade with him at level 1. Very few champions can. So in the bottom lane, we see Scattercat and Psychopeds giving up the level 2, but not putting themselves in a position to get traded on or engaged on this time around, which is a lot smarter than it was last time. already a better start for them.
Yeah.
The level 1s for the bot lane have just been disastrous in all 3 of these games,
Yeah.
so especially games 2 and 3. So
yeah, are going to lose a few CS to the turret, but that's a price you're willing to pay for not having an early Twitch kill. So
exactly. So Trundle starting red, looking like it is going to be a top gank for him or a top scuttle contest. They've kind of mirrored starts, both junglers starting red side. So,
but bot lane for Insignia with the wave shove means Goiner's going to try and sneak in behind them, and does get in there. But
did they see the buff? I don't think they.
Don't know if you can see that if it's cast from in bush.
I don't think they did.
Interesting.
Doesn't look
yeah,
like
clearly not. Oh, good ward from them, and Goiner going to go in anyway. Here comes the flash from Lone Sparrows. Does knock out both of them. This could be huge. Scattercat's going to have to flash himself. So does Psychopez.
He's going to be able to get out.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
Ooh,
Got
top
both
lane,
flashes.
though. Alien and Roll just
what?
takes it to the Tom Kench. Sifa's going to go back to base.
I'm
And,
gonna rewind that. I'll take a look at that.
yeah.
I'll tell you what happened.
But yeah, so...
Looks like he just sustained and just abused his health advantage.
But here's Alston Res tip here for the counter gank in the top lane. Cephas does land the tongue lash. Alien Roll with no flash. He's probably just going to die here. And Alston Res tip, great to him on capitalizing on the no flash and blocks up
good
there and
answer
gets a
back.
kill back. Yeah.
Cephas is going to have the flash too, so this is a lane they could revisit. We got to engage in the bottom lane here.
Ooh, Psychopath's going in. Scattercat not quite there for the follow-up. Flame Chompers go out. They're going to be zoning. Are going to hit the Twitch, but Caitlyn Stark going to get the expunge. And
Really?
yeah, Psychopath's maybe... yeah, Psychopath's maybe going a bit too far. Bot lane was quite split for Bronze 5H, and does give over the kill.
We talked about how the Galio can struggle against lanes that he can't really get in on without flash, but if the Leona's going to engage into you, that makes your job way easier. You can land... The Galio can get a free knock up, free taunt, free full channel Q, basically, on a Leona anytime she goes in, so... Psychopeth's got to be a little bit more careful, more selective about his engages there.
And crucially, the gank early by Goiner, while they did not result in a kill, it only took Lone Sparrow's flash, but burned both Scattercats and Psychopeth's. So, if he's able to hit 6 before Bronze 5 Ages have their flash up in the bot lane, that could be another couple of kills if they're able to get in and land the Glacial Prison. But,
yeah, especially with the heal down as well. So, well, looks like we could have something going on mid here.
Goiner wrapping around, but Alston Resp has been sitting in this brush for a little while. Is going to recall. And we might just...
getting creative with the gank path here. Cephas might be in trouble top lane.
Yeah.
Looking to get the Devour. Alarm will trying to buy time.
Yeah, this is very close. He might just get the kill here before the Sejuani comes. Flashes does get the tongue lash to secure that one, and now he's got to survive. But
health.
Otto's
doesn't
come
quite get
in.
it.
Yeah, I believe he popped his gray health. Or he may or may not have popped it earlier on in the trade, but
I think maybe probably should have
regardless.
flash there. I'm not entirely sure how much longer on a cooldown he had for that. There was a chance that the gray health cooldown was really close, and he actually could have gotten out of that. But that was one of those flashes where maybe a fight bottom here. Lone Sparrows was looking like he was going to engagement.
But top lanes are all the fun is this time, and kind of interesting to see how in a Tom Kench Cho'Gath tank v tank lane, we're seeing a lot of kills up there.
Well, again, it's that both these top laners facilitate ganks really, really well, and they both don't escape from ganks really, really well. Like, they have no mobility, so while they're tanky as hell, they both have the CC to like help these junglers like facilitate ganks. It's gonna favor the Trundle almost every time. Like, the Trundle Tom should win this 2v2 almost every time. At least early on, anyway. Gonna get an early dragon here for Alston if he doesn't die to it.
Oh my goodness. Oh no! One auto! He was in the middle of winding up the auto and...
Oh no!
Psychopez does walk over though and
okay,
steal
well,
the dragon,
so alright, so let's see how Insignia punches back here, because that might not necessarily mean anything if they don't turn it into any kind of advantage. In the mid lane, diving went for a fizzle, just whiffed it. Took a lot of trade back damage, and Shadow's going to be able to get the shove here. Diving probably teleports back to lane.
Yeah, we'll see here. But
Shadow no mana to shove this. He should probably just recall.
He
doesn't have
taking the
teleport, he
trade
should
there in the
recall.
top lane. This could be a fight to the death. Alien Roll has to flash out. As, yeah.
You're just seeing the power of this 1v1 Tom Kench. It's surprisingly good.
It's brutal.
Against tanks, it's very difficult. Because you're not going to have enough damage for him, and his percentage health damage is just too strong. It's really hard as a tank with limited mobility to deal with him. So Fizz did not teleport back. Shadow didn't leave, so Shadow's running low on mana here. This is a good window with knowing that Austin missed on the dragon, and Shadow doesn't have mana or a teleport. This is a really good window with priority bot lane for them to take dragon here, I think. Or no, they.
So yeah,
oh, they did get it. They did get it. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so Psychopez walked up actually and took the dragon right before it reset its health. So I didn't.
I saw the death and then started watching
Yeah.
the fight top lane. I didn't even say it. Wow. Okay, so they did get that. Okay, that wasn't quite the disaster. Okay.
The hero Psychopez did salvage that one. But
All
speaking of which, he may be caught. Lone Sparrows is level 6. So is Caitlyn Stark. Both level 5 here. Scattercat gonna have to walk out. Their flash is not quite up. Actually, Psychopez just came back up. Scattercat's a couple more seconds, and that was pretty close. But heal and flash burned, and Scattercat and Psychopez stay alive.
Both these bot lanes have really, really good level 6 all-ins. Shogath running low on mana on the top side. Might be able to make a play around that. I totally did not realize that dragon went down. That changed the whole complexity, or the whole complexion of this game.
Yeah, that.
It's like if I was at the hero play.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're just looking at an execute for the Trundle, which is not so bad. Quick recall.
Yeah, and you know they're gonna miss a wave here. Probably gonna get some platings on the bot side. It looks like it's gonna just be one plating. So Scattercat should be able to get back from a good chunk of this wave still.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there was gonna be a good window for them to get dragon there, but there's no dragon to get.
It was smart of Bronze 5H to recall at the time. They didn't know where the Sejuani was, and they were both very low. Didn't want to have to burn Scattercat's flash again at that time. So.
Man, Cephas just dominating this top lane matchup, man.
Yeah.
So we have a heavy advantage top side for the Tom Kench,
Yeah,
but also an advantage.
That thought, though. Diving is on the roam with the Shark. He is going to land that. Cephas is going to have to pop that gray health here in a few minutes. Alien roll is pretty low. Cephas might just turn this, and he is.
He's
One
gonna be able
more
to turn
auto.
it.
He just takes it. Diving has to walk away. Shadow's here in the meantime to match Goiner's roam, but also Restip is also here. Everybody roaming up. Oh, they see Caitlyn Stark. They do see him. Scatter doesn't want this fight, but Psychopez maybe does. The taunt is going to land on both of them. Here comes the spray and pray. Twitch is just going to take this fight over. Scattercat not long for this world as Lone Sparrows will dunk him with the taunt. And,
I can't tell if that was a 2000 IQ bait or if that was like a mistake that was recovered from, but that was pretty sweet from Lone Sparrows and Caitlyn Stark there.
Yeah, he just turned it with the Galio ult. The second that Leona went in with the Zenith Blade, Scattercat and Psychopez were just caught kind of an uh-oh moment where they were both split by the Galio ulti, and it's just kind of hard to determine whether you commit to that or if Scatter just walks away and leaves Psychopez, but yeah.
I will say one of the synergies we didn't discuss about this Galio Twitch bottom lane is that it reminds me a lot of like the old, they call them submarine comps, where you would have like an Evelynn with a Zillion bomb on it, or an Evelynn Orianna ult, or Shen Twitch, Shen Evelynn, like basically a delivery system. So Galio, we gotta fight with the Rift Herald here.
So
Red team is gonna get the Herald.
Goiner is gonna take that, so he sneaks in and steals it, flashes out and doesn't die. So successful steal by Insignia. Walks in and takes that away from Bronze 5H.
Going back to what I was saying with the Twitch Galio, one of the cool things you can do with this, with like stealth champions and global ults, is that you can create your own delivery system with it. The Twitch can just like torpedo himself into a backline or into a 2v2, and then all of a sudden there's a Galio ult on top of you, and you're like, what happened, right? With Jinx and Leona, they're not very mobile, so you can just run up to them while stealth and get the Galio ult, and all of a sudden they're forced to disengage it, right? They can put traps down and back off, but they have to. They can't take that fight anymore. So one of Galio's problems a lot of times, if you don't have a way to deliver him to the backline, he all of a sudden just becomes more of a disengaged or like a counter engaged tool than an actual engaged tool, like a lot of people think he is.
Yeah.
But when you have a Twitch or an Evelynn, you can kind of turn the tides and play it both ways, which is kind of a cool angle we didn't really discuss on Champs a lot. So.
Yeah. Mountain Dragon is up here. Bronze 5H is bot lane is going to move into the river. They might try and catch Goiner. Ult does just not quite land the stun from Psychopez, but they're going to turn on and do this. Insignia could challenge. This is going to be a 4-for-4. Alien Roll and Cephas both have TP. Here comes the TP from Cephas. He's going in. I'm sure Alien Rolls will be close to follow. Goiner may be in trouble here. As Psychopez is caught on the other side. Actually, they turn on two The Sejuani, the Fizz Kid escapes with no health. It's a 1-for-1. Also, Restep going forward. He might be taken down. The Gallo gets the kill. Aileron Roll is now here. It is a 2-for-1 overall in favor of Insignia. Scattercat in a bad spot now. The Caitlyn Stark, is he going to go down to the Lifeform Disintegration? No, he's not. Diving gets into the back line. Scattercat is down. This is a 3-for-1 now. Shadow has to run. May get a kill in the back end if he turns with the Q. Does Zanya's the Rupture. Both players hit their stopwatch at the same time, but that leaves the cooldown for the title Trickster to hop up on his pole, and that'll be a 4-for-1 for Insignia. Well played by them.
Bronze 5H need to get on the same page, I think, with their execution. Oh, well, it looks like Tom Kench is going to try to trade something back here, but maybe a little bit overplaying this.
Nobody's near him from Bronze 5H. They're all walking up to the top. He'll flash over the wall and he'll be fine. Maybe.
I mean, but
might just walk in there and... Psychopath is going in. Is this a bait? Here comes the Trundle, the Galileo ulti. Twitch will survive the Ignite. TP back in. This is Diving coming in on the Fizz. He's going to Playful Trickster in the back line, and
doesn't have any damage here. Bronze 5H keep making these plays that like look pretty good, but if you don't have your damage dealers there, Vel'Koz and Jinx were not in that fight. You're not going to be able to score any kills, really. I mean, they could have, but it's just not. It's not worth the risk in that situation. A lot to unpack here. So that dragon fight, the reason I say Bronze 5H need to get on the same page with how they want to approach these fights is Psychopez went in just to disrupt Caitlyn Stark's Twitch ultimate. Did stop a lot of damage from coming out, but it did kind of disjoint the fight, right?
Yeah.
You don't, if your Jinx and your Vel'Koz don't have any protection in these fights, it makes it really, really awkward for them because they have to play it really safe and they're not outputting damage against a team that's gonna, you know, it needs.
Oh, here we go. Big fight. The dragon does reset crucially. No kills yet. Twitch just got the spray and pray up. Also, Restep will get the dragon. Joe got the trouble here. He may go down to the Lifeform Disintegration where he takes down 2 of them. This is a 2-for-1 now. Lone Sparrow's going to cut out and makes it a 3-for-1. So Bronze 5H, they hit back, get the Mountain Dragon, their second of the game, and win the fight.
All right, let's turn this into some towers, Bronze 5H. Let's see. TK fishing for the Twitch, does not find him. They're going to take blue and hopefully bot or mid tower or maybe even both. Really, really overzealous from Insignia there. They got away with murder in that bot fight. Bronze 5H kind of gifted them another kill and got the Tom Kench's flash out, and then they decided to take the dragon anyway against the 5v5 comp. You don't really want to do that with your ults down, so maybe should have just gave that dragon up. Yeah, they should just give that dragon up.
Yeah.
You already have one. It's not a huge deal. Alston ends up getting the Earth Drake. Now they have double Earth Drake with the Jinx comp where they want you engaging on them.
Ooh. Scatter might be dead here.
Yeah, he's dead. Maybe not.
Oh, he's going to tick pretty low. Psychopez is here to dissuade the Twitch, but Scatter actually may just live. I think he will.
There's no Galio ult. Okay, yeah, they're going to get out.
There's also a wrist tip just for backup again.
So much fighting.
Yeah.
So, having the double Mountain Drake on the side of Bronze 5H means that they can start Dragon, start Baron, and kind of force the issue.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good situation for them so that they're not having to force engages on this beefy front line. This is a really...
Yeah, this is kind of awkward.
Psychopez's gonna ult the wave.
Fizz is behind there, just whiffs out on the Shark. Lone Sparrow's gonna land the top, he's just gonna die there. So, Diving picks up that kill.
A questionable decision there, but I don't think Psychopez needs to hear me say that.
Oh, they want to fight some warriors. This is going to be a 3v3. Lone Sparrows goes in. Flame Choppers will land on the Fizz. They could pick him off here. Meanwhile, a gank in the top lane. But let's go back to that bot lane fight. Diving. Does he have the Playful Trickster yet? The Q's only going to hit. Oh, but the spray and pray comes out from Caitlyn Stark. He's going to get 2 kills. Both go over to Diving, and that fight turned on its head in just a moment as they will pick up the 3rd.
Oh, Fizz gets it back-to-back.
6-0.
Oh my gosh. We talked about it in these kind of like skirmish-heavy games where there's just like lots of scrapping and battling. Fizz is so good in these situations.
Yeah.
By the way, TK almost 2v1 top.
Yeah.
Cho'Gath has gained a lot of health back since then, but he almost killed Sejuani and then like got away and he's gonna go aggress onto the Cho'Gath here too. Cho'Gath does have ultimate. He can get him here.
Yeah. And while we see the fight bottom lane, well, not really a fight as Psychopez steps out and gets engaged on.
So we talked a lot going into this game about Bronze 5 Age and showing some discipline and not fighting into this stuff, I think they're getting kind of caught up in the moment a little too much. They need to do what they did in the previous games and just slow this down. It's... Oh, nice kill on the top lane.
Yeah.
A little overzealous there by Aileron roll overstaying for the tower. But, so getting back to that point, we talked about how the Twitch can be quite good against other hyper carries, just putting out more like raw damage output in a team fight, over even if it's spread over multiple targets. But at this point, with it's a 3.5K gold lead. It's not that tremendous or anything. There's a lot of tower gold left on the map for both teams to get. But I think with the double Mountain Drake, you have a lot of power to just try to scale this late and just pressure around Barons from the side of Bronze 5 Age. So I think at this point you need to just kind of admit defeat. You have a really fed Fizz with teleport, and you just gotta like kind of set. You need to set up for a long game here and try to catch them making mistakes setting up a 1-3-1. Because you have to imagine that Fizz is gonna try to just like 1-3-1 with a 6-0 lead. Nobody can 1v1 him. Maybe Tom Kench can.
In this game, Bronze 5 Age are the first to actually send their ADC top this time with the support. So they're going to try and 2v1 Aileron roll and get that last outer down. I guess second to last since they haven't taken mid. But the Dragon coming up in 30 seconds. It's a bit awkward timing. I think this just means a free Dragon for Insignia. If Bronze 5
well,
Age
I think they want to trade this for a top tower if they can.
Yeah.
If that's at all possible. I think they want to try to trade this for a top tower. The thing with when you have your tower down as Jinx against a Twitch, any AD carry against a Twitch, is you can't have your tower down against him in a long lane. Oh, it looks like Cephas might be caught here.
Yeah. None of his team really near. Aileron roll down there in the bot lane, but they might just pop him before the Grey Health explodes, and they do. Shadow also may be caught as well as diving goes deep. Rocket not quite going to finish off some members as diving is very low. Aileron roll just holding strong in this top lane, and I think that should be the Dragon for Insignia. We'll see if Bronze 5 Age is able to answer like they wanted to with that tower.
I don't want to see Alston go for a steal here. Just give this up. It's an Ocean Drake, 19 minutes into the game. It's not the biggest deal in the world. It's not worth dying for this, because this could turn into a Baron, potentially.
Yeah. Oh, he's just going to get the kill there, and all of a sudden, double kill there.
Too?
Yeah, maybe that was...
Okay.
Maybe he had greater plans there for
prove
that
me
one.
wrong.
I guess so, and Insignia pull off the Dragon, and now looks like Bronze 5 Age will get the top lane.
They're going to get this top lane tower. They're probably going to kill Cho'Gath here, too. Maybe both.
Scattercat doesn't have the Super Mega Death Rocket.
Doesn't have it,
yeah, Shadow without Summoners. Unfortunately goes down there.
The carries on Insignia just finding ways to get fed, man. Every game. Whether we think it's a good matchup, a bad matchup, whether we think the game's slowed down or not, they just find ways to get themselves fed. I'll say this too, man. So Fizz going with the Blade of the Ruin King, which is traditionally not what you don't usually see Twitch go Bork in situations where he's going to be the primary damage dealer. You see him in situations where you'll do that if he's looking to make picks. That said, the Bork has a lot of effectiveness against I'd say it's like 2.5 tanks on the side of Bronze 5 Age. So it's going to take a little bit longer for Twitch to get to that. I'm just going to blow all 5 people up in a team fight stage. It's going to take him like another item to get there because he's going to go for an attack speed item and then probably an eye edge afterwards. Yeah. But he's still going to do a ton of damage in these fights. He's just so far ahead. He's got level 2 ult already.
5-0
and this lets him play in a long lane. So
looks like we're going to have a fight here. Zolson Rezdip welcomes it with the subjugate, lands it on the Sejuani, but may just go down here. Psychopez as well. Caitlyn Stark is dominating with the double kill. Now TP comes in, and all of a sudden, Bronze 5 Age don't want any part of this fight. Scattercat will go down very quickly. Cephas is going to die as well, and Shadow may not even be able to escape from the Fizz. Playful Trickster comes in, and holy cow, that went from real even to a 5-0.
They're going to get Dragon and Baron from that. Nobody's on the Twitch. They have no reliable way to get to the Twitch besides the Leona ultimate, and perhaps I kind of overlooked that in the draft. But Pillar and Leona ultimate are not enough in this situation. All right, so they're going to offer Dragon and Towers, and they're going to probably try to reset for a Baron fight, which I think is a fine decision also. I think they probably could have gone right to Baron there, but I think maybe they like their odds taking a fight at Baron instead.
I think so, and you see the Twitch farming in the bot lane. My guess is he likely wants to clear up a few more jungle camps to get that Infinity Edge. Probably
he might be.
pretty
Yeah, I was
close
gonna
to
say he's
that.
gonna be close to high edge at this point. He had BF sword already. Just picked up another couple kills and assist and power gold in that farm.
Fizz is not recalled yet. He's probably sitting on pretty close to that death cap. So I do agree. I think it is a good idea for them to really get those huge item spikes on their carries, the Zanyas and the Eye Edge, and then go for that kind of Baron fight. Which, if they can take it without those 2 items, they can surely do it with.
Yeah, this is gonna be. They have such a huge front line and an Ocean Drake that they're just gonna be able to start the Baron, force the issue, and not be punished too hard for it. So. Bronze 5 Age kind of gonna need a miracle here, I think. This is not looking too good for them. Let's see. Might be able to get this mid tower, but I'm wondering. I'm not sure if it's even effective for them to just like force a split at this point. But they're gonna have to get creative and force Insignia into a mistake here, because Insignia at this point would need to make multiple catastrophic mistakes.
Lone Sparrow's caught out. He gets 2 with the Flame Choppers. Here comes all of the ultimates. Shadow's going to take down Lone Sparrows here. The Twitch and the Fizz are not here yet. It's going to be the flank from the bottom, but both of them are going to disengage as Bronze 5 Age kill 1. And that's the end of that fight.
I think Bronze 5 Age need to force a Baron here. I know it seems sketchy, but
yeah, they have to do something with this. Scatter poking out with the autos. Psycho Pez is doing his best to ward off the Fizz in the bottom side of the screen. Caitlyn Stark looking for the flank. Oh, B5F, be careful. They can't overextend here and give that Twitch a kill, but
oh man.
Good lord.
That expunge damage.
And all of a sudden now, Insignia on the offensive. You see Fizz on your mini-map way down there at the bottom. Galio respawning here with the ultimate. And all of a sudden, this could be 5 members really quickly here. Shark is going to miss. Diving still has the Zanyas here. He's going to use that. The Tom Kench just dies, and holy cow. Yeah, diving dodges so much damage. May go down here in the end. Oh, Scatter can't quite get that last auto. Rupture lands onto him. That's the double kill for the Twitch. Spray and Pray will likely finish off Psychopez here, as it is going to be Lone Sparrows picking that one up.
They could get an inhibitor on that, I think. They're going to go
rest up is up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I know I said I think they should go for the Baron. What I meant by that was they should go for the Baron, force them to come, and then try to turn and get another pick and then do the Baron. Obviously, you can't just like straight up do the Baron with the Twitch in the game because he's just going to unload on you. But again, like this game, I don't think this game gets any better for Bronze 5 Age, even with the Jinx Vel'Koz, because Twitch is just going to output just as much damage. So I think they needed to do some kind of hero play like that. And I'm not sure the mid tower was the correct call.
Alston Restip going in, but it's about 7,000 HP too early, and not quite able to get in there.
Not a good look. But I mean, again, like Bronze 5 Age are in a place now where they're just doing home run swings. There's a couple different ways you can approach being down like this, right? Some people believe in playing the percentages. Like if this is only going to get worse and worse, if they're like 90% to win this game, and you want to try to take plays before it gets any worse,
then an 11%
that's one way to look at it.
Becomes worth it at that point.
Exactly. The other angle to that is you could maybe just rely on them making a mistake. Don't play the percentages. Just try to stall, play defense, and hope the other team messes up. I think Bronze 5 Age now they've missed. I mean, there wasn't really a window there for them to punch. Like going for that Baron, I think was maybe the punch play that they had. So now I think they're going to be in a spot where they're just trying to play defense and set picks here and just hope that Insignia messes this up. But with this big of a lead, it's pretty tough. They have a 10k gold lead at 26 minutes. You have all the money on the carries, which is really important. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one.
Ocean Dragon coming up in 20 seconds. That's going to be all Insignia if Bronze 5 Age try to challenge.
That's so much money.
Yeah.
Twitch is so rich. That man is huge.
Yep. Item and a half up.
Don't throw this lead. You guys almost threw this lead through the lead in game 2, playing over aggressively. I'm looking for Insignia to close this out clean.
Yeah, and they've got a double taunt there on Alston Restip and Psychopez, but they want the fight here. They're going to go Twitches from the side. Fizz is
Oh,
not
they
even
knew it.
involved from the bottom, but they're going to pick
Nice
him.
catch.
They get him with the Lightborn Disintegration Ray. It's a 1-for-1 in this fight. The taunt is not landed on Scattercat. He flashes it, but here comes the Fizz. You got one carry down, but the other remains. Diving picks up 2 kills in the back line. And,
Just so far ahead.
yeah, they got one of the 10-1 people, but still one more.
You're seeing though, like you're seeing how much they have to commit just to killing this Twitch,
Yeah.
especially because he's as ahead as he is. They have to kill him. Like they just can't not kill him in a fight, and because of that, it gives Fizz like carte blanche to approach a fight however he wants. He could play 5v5, he could flank from the side, he could teleport. Like he gets to do whatever he wants, and with Scattercat having to play so far forward to get damage on this Fizz because his front 3 aren't going to be able to kill it, or Twitch. His front 3 aren't going to be able to reliably kill him. He's going to have to put himself in precarious situations, and that's what you saw there. He just didn't have anything left in the tank once Fizz got there, and Jinx isn't exactly great at dealing with Fizz.
Yeah.
So
Diving just going to hop out of there. Lone Sparrows going to look for a taunt, and they probably don't want to turn this. There are 4 members here. Lone Sparrow's probably going to die. Shadow picks up that kill, and a little bit greedy of them to stay here in the bot lane, not knowing where any of Bronze 5H were.
Insignia again, like I know they're really, really far ahead, but you don't need to be doing any of that. Like you were going to reset anyway, just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen that a couple
Turn
other
this
times
into a
this
teaching
series.
scene. That's happened a couple times in this series
It
where
is.
it's just like, I don't know if it's just like being absent-minded or they're not thinking about the big picture on that, but I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter that much. It's just optimizing, you know?
Yeah.
Could be a
They've
fight
got
top
3 men here in the
Nice.
top lane, and Velkoz's going to pick up another shutdown. Got that one on the Twitch, got the kill on the Galio, and now the Cho'Gath here. Not going to be able to get any more likely.
If they could trade this for a bottom tower, it's fine.
Yeah.
Other than that, if they don't trade it for a bottom tower, I say the same thing I just said about the other one, especially because it just happened.
They might get another one. The Flame Chompers just quite don't lock up the Sejuani. Is the Zap going to land? They might just walk it down. Tom Kench still has 1,000 licks left, so they're going to give the kill to Scattercat, and
They keep saying it, like they keep doing it, like especially it just happened on the other side of the map, guys. Like I know you're ahead, I know you're just trying to push your advantage, but it's not like scaling is bad for you. Just reset. You just got killed on the other side of the map overextending. Just shake it off, reset, and you're good to go. Instead, they overstay top. They get punished. Bronze 5Age doing the same thing they did in... This looks eerily like Game 2, by the way.
yeah.
There's a lot like Game 2, where Insignia get really, really far ahead. I think the difference in this game, though, is that I do think the scaling is even enough. It's close enough that it's not as lopsided as it was for Bronze 5Age in that game.
Yeah. And regardless of how many kills the Vel'Koz picks up on these random side lane members, that's still going to get them nowhere closer to killing this Fizz or dealing with this Twitch or breaking this front to back that Insignia has over them. So the identity is still there.
They need, at this point, they need just like a hero Vel'Koz ult. A hero Vel'Koz ult is how they're going to win this fight. Or just like 7 crits in a row from Jinx and just killing everybody. But or for diving to make a mistake, like not setting up a flank or like splitting without his teleport or something like that. I think with this Baron, like the next Baron that spawns, it would not surprise me to see. Like I think Bronze 5Age, one of the things that they could do is potentially just let the Fizz split and take the inhibitor and just try to take the dragon, like the Baron fight 5v4. In order to do that, in order to set up for that, you have a small window right now to try to pop this Fizz's teleport.
Ooh. Spray and pray almost takes down Shadow in about 3 autos.
Well, you
Does
know
force
it's
the
down
flash
to this
out of
fight. That's okay.
the Vel'Koz. Also, Resdip going aggressive on the Cho'Gath. Flame Chompers will root up 2 for the moment.
So they have like a 30 second to 1 minute window there to maybe try to get in bot lane, get a gank on the Fizz, and get his teleport down, and then run back up to Baron and take the 5v4. But that didn't happen, and now they're just going to be able to set up. Cephas doesn't have his teleport. He does have the TK ultimate, so he can get into these fights, but...
Unfortunately, also Resdip did use Subjugate there on the Sejuani, so not the spot you want to use it. Didn't really translate into anything, so we'll have to wait for that cooldown to be effective at diving.
Weird. Kind of a weird focus coming bot lane here for Insignia. I guess they're waiting on Dragon. I guess they're thinking Bronze 5-8. There's no way Bronze 5-8 is just going to Baron. Like, they're just not going to. So maybe calling the bluff. Because they could have been spending this whole time just, like, taking vision around from the Baron. But it looks like they just want to get buffs. Maybe they're looking to get item spikes. Maybe Fizz Death Cap is what they're hunting for. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just kind of a weird lapse in... Maybe when you're this far ahead, a lot of the times you're not thinking about the small windows.
Yeah.
Like the small optimizations, you're just thinking big picture kind of things. They're not thinking about that.
And if you made a couple of mistakes in the side lane, getting caught like you did, a tendency maybe to overcorrect and play more safe than you needed to be.
That's a good point, yeah. It's looking like they're going to try to set up for Dragon.
A third Ocean here at 32 minutes is going to be the cost
I mean,
of this fight,
I'll say
guess.
this. A third Ocean just lets them like sit there and tank Baron and force Bronze 5-Age to fight. Like, they just have to.
Yeah.
So...
Ooh,
but they could do that with 2 anyway. That's what's so bizarre to me.
Oh, they went this Twitch, but Candle Start going to walk on out.
The thing is, because they're not like already started on the Baron, they can't just like go to Baron while they're doing Dragon and get a head start on this.
Yeah.
Like, Bronze 5-Age probably just need to be a little bit more decisive there, but I think they're just going to try to wait and hope that...
Both Fizz and Twitch on the flank here. I think this is the fight Insignia want to. Let's see if... oh, diving lands the ult on the Scatter Cat. That is... Oh, great Devour, but he's going to die in the mouth of the Tom Kench, and this fight is all she wrote. Bronze 5-Age going to lose 4 members. Cephas pops the gray health. He's going to live for a couple more seconds, but is going to die to one more auto from the Twitch, and Shadow is all that is left. See, Blast Cone's away to safety, but for how long? As Caitlyn Stark flashes and will hit him probably 3 times and secures the Quadra kill. And
I don't know if Cephas' Devour is on cooldown or if he just didn't want to eat the... I guess that... I'm trying to think. Does that go through Tom Kench hold? I'm trying to remember. I might just do the damage to both of them. But kind of wondering why the Devour didn't happen sooner.
yeah,
Maybe he didn't want to get knocked up.
he might just not have been paying attention to that fight. I don't know if they saw the Twitch or the Fizz on the flank, but
Yeah, there's a
I mean,
good
they should have
chance
been
that
looking
I mean,
for
he was
it,
standing
but-
right next to him. He was standing right next to him,
Yeah.
but there's a chance he just was distracted by something else. So
Cephas not in the support Tom Kench mindset, I guess.
yeah. Just thinking damage output. This Cho'Gath is so big now. Oh my, 4,700 health. Woo!
Yeah,
Doesn't even have a Warmogs yet.
his stacks is that. Going up the dragon there, 10 stacks in.
So yeah, Cho'Gath notably not limited in his scaling as much as he used to be. At all, really. So
Yeah.
one of the changes they made, I think it was before this season or toward the end of last season, was his scaling is not capped anymore. So theoretically, he can scale infinitely.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're gonna have this wave of supers on the mid inhib. This is a rough spot.
Yeah.
When you're behind like this, like Bronze 5-Age, you need to be shoving up mid and then walking into the Baron River before then, especially if the other team's not on it. Like, if they're not on this Baron right now, you got to take this time to be shoving up the mid wave and then be able to enter from that side, so you're not entering at a choke point for easy Cho'Gath Qs and Sejuani ultimates. So looks like they understand that. They're going to do that. I'm kind of questioning why Insignia didn't just take the Baron there. They didn't back for any major items.
No,
spikes.
yeah, I didn't
They
see
got
the
a
death
GA
cap
on
come
Twitch,
in.
I guess. But he didn't finish death cap.
They do have a ward here in the mid lane, so if Scattercat chose to complete that recall, they may use that as an opportunity, but not going to happen. Aileron roll in the bot lane with teleport. Fizz pushing out the top wave. I like the wave priority here for these guys to make sure we get this wave shoved out before moving to the Baron.
I mean, I guess they're thinking that they don't have to do anything.
Oh, here we go. Caitlyn Stark
Stark's
maybe caught. Throws the ultimate back. Will burn the... Oh my
So
goodness! He
just
hammers
so
the Jinx
bad.
and the Trundle.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was the mistake. He's just so far ahead, it doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, and who has caught who at that point?
That's probably
That's
game.
3 kills
That's
for
gotta
him.
They
Yeah,
have a wave. Vel'Koz can wave clear this, but they have outer wave shoving too, so...
Yeah, one more member rotates over here, and that might be it. He's going to have to wave clear the world. TP comes in, and that cannon's going to be protected, likely. One more wave coming in right behind it, and Tom Kench ult, Abyssal Voyage takes him back.
Not enough damage.
Lifeform Disintegration Wave. They may pick off the Sejuani in the end, and they don't even do that, unfortunately. So this is going to be it. Bear Nexus. It went down to the wire, but finally, Insignia, in a grueling series, come out with game number 4. Scattercat in the chat. The fat lady has sung. Bronze 5 Age mount to come back in game 3, but Insignia pull everything together, get a well-formed composition. You know, no big deal. Get a 17-1 and 17 carry. 80% kill participation at least.
I think this was Insignia's I think their first draft was better, but this was much more cohesive than games 2 and 3 were. Games 2 and 3 was just kind of like a hodgepodge. This one was much more conceptually straightforward. Like it was an easy big picture thing to see, and I mean the carries just got fed. Every game their carries just found ways to get fed, and in this game they had the scaling on their side also. So just really well played. Caitlyn Starr carrying this game, Lone Sparrows carrying the other games, just really good. I think the bot lane was excellent in both these games. Diving got himself fed on the Fizz in this game. And it was looking, I mean, I know people know this, but like when you have games on Assassins where the Assassin doesn't get fed, like the beginning of that game was slow enough where it kind of looked like Fizz was going to be stopped, right?
Yeah.
Not like stopped, but he wasn't getting the advantages you want to get on Fizz, and then got that double, and then got the triple in the bot lane. He ended up getting 6-0-1 or whatever it was, and it was just too much to overcome. There's too many factors.
Yeah.
You have to kill this Twitch, but then you're overextending and not protecting your back line, and all of a sudden the Fizz can just.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing about playing for Assassins, and I think you can speak to this as well as I can, but you hold them down for so long, and then one mistake, and they've killed 3 of your people, and now they get buys. Yeah. It's quite insane.
It's a good series. I think things that both teams there's things both teams can learn from in this series. Absolutely. I think Insignia probably could do a better job closing out, not giving the teams anything. Like if you have such a huge advantage, there's no need to have those side lane splits against team in a closer game. Those could be fatal mistakes, or giving the enemy team any kind of gold like that can be long term a problem. Didn't end up mattering in this game, but we saw in games 2 and 4 not exactly the cleanest closes. Bronze 5 Age, I think maybe just be more disciplined with your fights and practice setting up, I think is the main thing. Like when you're going to play 2-core like this, you need to have your offensive line in place. I use the football analogy, right? You need to have your offensive line, like your tanks in front, to set the game up for you, right?
Sure.
So that you don't have these disjointed fights where it's a 2v2 and a 3v3. And the way you do that is communicate beforehand where and how you're going to approach a fight. If you're going to contest a dragon, say we're going to approach from the bot side try as a 5-man unit, or we're going to approach from the river as a 5-man unit, right? Just little lapses in communication that I think both teams can learn from here. I think both teams had good things, a lot of good things shown as well. Bronze 5 Age punched back really, really well, punished the mistakes that Insignia made trying to close. Insignia with excellent priority play, and the first two games they were just won based on great priority play. So good things from both teams, things to be learned from both teams, and I think overall a pretty good series.
Yeah, awesome stuff. We don't get to see the reign of Bronze 5 Age, and that's the second time the number 1 seed has been toppled. We saw it in Shurima. Now we see it in DEMACIAN. So awesome stuff. Still no any team.
Maybe we'll see it in Ionian next week.
You guys, yeah, maybe.
Hey, I'm just saying we have the full gauntlet run going on right now.
Yeah, so. You guys do. You guys do. What were you, 4th seed or you were 4th or 5th?
We're 5th.
Dang. Yeah, you're welcome for for my small part in that. No, that's
it's a good series by both teams. I think good VODs to watch, things to learn.
Yeah.
Discipline. I think that's like the moral is discipline and leverage. They were like the two buzzwords we used over and over in these fights.
Yeah.
Because I think discipline from both sides and leverage was just excellent from Insignia in all these games.
Yeah. We are joined by Caitlyn Stark in our interview as he hops into the caster desk after a triumphant 3-1 defeat over Bronze 5 Age. How are you feeling? What time zone are you in? What is it your time?
It's Central Time here, so we just hit about midnight.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad. You got dicey there in the 3rd and 4th game.
Yeah, absolutely. Bronze 5 Age mounted a comeback. What were you guys after they took game 3? You guys pulled out a comp that we hadn't yet seen that series. You guys' compositions were focused a lot on lanes in the first couple of games, establishing priority, roaming quickly to your jungle. But then you built a very team fight, front to back, like Gelati was saying, 2 core with an assassin kind of composition. What was the communication around that draft, and why did you guys opt to go that route in game 4?
Well, we decided to go to that route in game 4 because, well, game 3 we picked sort of an AD carry that didn't scale, and we played for lane, and then we got stalled out into oblivion and couldn't win the front to back.
Mm-hmm.
We just couldn't execute it the way it needed to be executed, and we thought we'd give ourselves something a little easier, give myself a hyper carry that I knew had a time bomb on it,
Yeah.
and play from there.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. We saw a lot of support bans at Lone Sparrows the entire series. I think I counted 4 support bans.
It was like 4 in every game.
Yeah, something like that.
3, 4, 4.
Well,
3,
4 in
4,
every
4.
game after the first game because
Yeah.
Pike, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Were any of the picks that he played in the later games discussed beforehand, or were all those like as a result of, oh, they banned 4 of my things, what are we going to play now? Did you guys craft your bot lanes beforehand, or know which synergies work together, or did you kind of pick them as the draft went on and you got so many support bans?
We actually tried to plan them beforehand. Like we knew going in if we got Vayne and Pike, we wanted to play that. And we had a few sort of each of us has like an alternate that we wanted to play with that lane if like the other was banned. But once it got into like the 4 ban status, I think the third game was the only game we had an actual support planned ahead of time, which was the Jarvan, which you saw how well that worked out.
Yeah.
We were curious along like the whole draft. We were wondering like because Volibear support is like a thing.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like an actual thing. So and it's been getting played professionally. And I was like, oh, maybe they're gonna bust this out. It actually, like kind of makes sense against Leona or whatever. But
yeah, Lightning really likes Volibear, so it'd be hard to sort of take it from him and give it to Lone Sparrow. Though I have no doubt Lone Sparrow could play it. He plays pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it probably would have been a good choice, you know.
Yeah, I think the whole this whole series I think was guided and directed in large part just by the bottom lanes, right? And the last game here we kind of saw Cephas getting a pretty big advantage in the top lane with the TK, but by and large this whole series was run through the bottom lanes, right? So how did you guys deal with all the pressure? It wasn't even like there wasn't like a ton of focus. It was just a lot of 2v2ing, like just winning skirmishes. And
oh yeah, I mean we've been playing through the bot lane for the most part of this season after I guess the first 2 weeks, and we've kind of gotten used to the idea that we need to come out I guess even or ahead, you know, the old CLG mantra when it was, you know, double lift down there.
Yeah.
But I mean I have probably what I would consider one of the best supports in the league, and he just made my job easy. You know, I followed up on what he put down, and we pressed the level 2 advantage a lot, and they gave it to us a lot.
Was it Diving's decision to go mid and have somebody else replace him at support? Because you guys are missing Vortex in the mid lane, and it seemed like it would have been easier just to get a mid lane sub. Was it his idea? Like, he really looked pretty comfortable in the mid lane on a lot of different champions that we had no idea he played. Was that his choice to move around to do that kind of odd lane swap and ask for the sub top?
Yeah, it was, and that was mainly because bronze. I think 1 was kind of our tier we had to get, like the high point. We didn't have a lot of volunteers in the bronze 1 range. Gotcha. So when Alien Roll stepped in, and he was a top lane main, we said, well, we'll just flip it. That way he's comfortable.
Gotcha. Aileron actually played a pretty good series, all things considered. Cephas was getting his advantages, but Aileron was doing a pretty good job of neutralizing. Like not like I would say losing gracefully, but you know, like in matchups like that where he's getting shoved or bullied around with the TK and all that, he did a pretty good job of just, you know, standing pat up there, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He absorbed the pressure until we could swap lanes after taking the first tower.
I wanted to ask you guys. So in the first 2 games, especially, you guys showed a really excellent understanding of like map leverage and priority play. Where is that something you guys focus on in your practice, or is that just something that you happen to get most of the time from winning lanes? Is that like something you actually consider and factor in and actively try to get, or is it more just plays out that way because you're so lane centric?
Absolutely, it's definitely something we focus on, and during our practices, which we actually do have more than I expected. feels
good.
a little bit more
That's
like a
good.
commitment, but it's good. But yeah, no, we practice that, and
It
having
shows.
winning lanes is nice. It makes it easier, But yeah, I would say as a team we kind of know what we want to do in that area.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say because it seems like you guys draft for lane, or at least to have control of your lanes in at least 2 of your lanes, because that was the case in the first 2 games. The third game, I think you guys committed a little hard on it. It was like a little too all in early, but I appreciate the idea, and I think that whole concept of wave manipulation and controlling the map, not just characters, I think is something that goes under practiced and underappreciated, especially in like organized play like this, where you can actually take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
It's good to
Yeah,
hear you guys focus on it.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like I don't want to say that it doesn't really matter sort of the champs you play, but if you win lane and control the map, it almost feels like you can win the game before they get there,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we kind of strived on, trying to push it fast.
Yeah, I think people tend to. It's harder to play defense in League than it is to play offense. So I think anytime that you can put yourself on the front foot, you want to be doing that, right, and being proactive about it.
Absolutely.
So it's just good to see that, because typically you see a lot of, especially at like really like anything at any of the levels of play in this league, outside of like challenger level play and everything, you really don't see a lot of that. People just tend to play scaling or play comfort champions and like team fight late, because they don't get to do that in solo queue, so they
Yeah.
want to do it
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
So
It makes sense.
you tend to see that a lot, but it was really cool seeing somebody seeing you guys so consciously trying to go after that, and it paid off. Like you saw, it was that won you the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Like straight up, it won you the first 2 games. You guys were able to get advantages and chip away, deny minions, deny experience, win skirmishes. Like it paid off. You guys snowballed those first 2 games. The closing was a little sketchy. I said that in the test. You guys can
Yeah.
go back and watch the VOD. I talk a lot about that, but
It was super
the
sketchy.
closing wasn't the
I
cleanest.
got caught at the end. I managed to kill the people chasing me, so that's never that clean.
But
Yeah.
I think the big picture concept of it was excellent and clearly practiced by you guys, and it was cool to see that come to fruition for you.
Oh yeah, definitely got to give shout outs to Diving and Sparrow. They kind of lead the team in that, sort of calling where to go in the rotation. So
Well, they're the best roles to do it. I'm in support. Awesome stuff, Caitlin. Congratulations on the win. I don't have any more questions. If you don't, Gelati, we'll
I'm good.
let this young whippersnapper go to bed.
well, thank you guys. Thanks for casting it.
Yeah, awesome
Congratulations.
stuff. Well, guys, that's going to do it for the stream. I don't think I have a whole lot more to talk about, nor would I want to if I did. So I'm going to shut this baby down. Thanks all for tuning in. Still got 23 viewers to the end. So good
Everybody
stuff.
have a good night.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
To Insignia, who take down Bronze 5H and upset the #1 seed. We got a little bit more playoff action. We're yet to schedule the Ionian Division finals, but I know Noxus have their finals next Sunday in 6 days, or I guess those of you on the Eastern Coast, 5 days. But
Yeah, Ionian's going to be probably, that's yet to be scheduled, but I think someone's going to be streaming or casting like a VOD of the Ionian semifinals, like the second, or basically the 3rd place match or whatever. So,
yeah,
so we got that in the oven cooking, and then Ionian finals and Noxus finals.
Yep.
So
Stay tuned for those guys. Our season 0 is almost wrapped up, and pretty excited about these last couple games. So thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to shut down the stream. Good night, everybody.
all right.